You're listening to For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation.
Hello there.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation. Today is a special one because today is our big celebration recap special. We're going to be talking about all of our big and favorite reveals from the weekend. It's been a pretty great time to be a Star Wars fan, but also there's some important things we need to talk about as well, which we will get into. I am one of your hosts, Andrew, and for the first time in a while, we have the full crew here today because Jake is back. How are you doing?
What's up? I haven't been here in so long.
It's been since the second episode, I think.
Yeah, literally, because, Starbucks is an evil, evil, evil corporation. They don't let you have a life outside of work. But I'm out of that place now, and now I'm here.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
We got Don and Connor are also back. It's been a busy week. It's been a very big week for us, too. We had our first episode of our Obi-Wan recaps drop yesterday. The response to that has been really great so far. Check that out if you haven't yet. It's going to be on all of our podcast feeds. Just search Obi-Wan Part 1 and 2 recap on there and you'll find it. And last night, or this morning, for those of you who don't stay up till 3 a.m. for the episode drops, the third episode of Obi-Wan dropped, which, we'll have a bunch to talk about that. We don't know when we're going to be filming our recap for that one yet because of conflicting schedules, but we will let you know, and we'll have that out definitely by the end of the week, because this is just probably our biggest week for the pod since we started, and I'm very excited to see it go like this. Unfortunately, though, there are some things that we need to talk about first that aren't as celebratory, but are very important and need to be discussed. And of course, if you haven't been living under a rock in this community, it is about the just very unfortunate and disgusting racist hate that has been thrown towards Moses Ingram. She came out and posted an Instagram story a few days ago showing just some of the many, as she claimed, hundreds of racist DMs that have been thrown her way since the premiere of Kenobi. And the response to this, to me, has been very, good to see as a member of this community, that everyone is kind of banded together and calling out this, including Star Wars social media for once, because in times where, in the past, if I remember off the top of my head, Kelly Marie Tran had this horribly, John Boyega had it horribly, and there was really no public response from Lucasfilm against this. So it's really nice to see Star Wars come out and throw their support behind Moses Ingram, saying don't be a racist. And then Ewan McGregor, his video yesterday was just my favorite thing in the world, saying if you sent any of these messages to Moses, you're no Star Wars fan to me. To me, the fact that we've been going in circles with this for decades in this community is just disgusting.
Yep,
I wasn't around during the original trilogy, but I'm assuming Billy D had some of it. Ahmed Best had it horribly when The Phantom Menace came out. I mean, you can just name any POC character that has been in the Star Wars universe, and there's always something, whether it's, you're a diversity hire, or it's the actual racist slurs thrown their way. If you don't like a character, you don't like a character. We're not saying you have to love the character. Just do not go out of your way to message the actor or actress portraying the character and throw them racist slurs, harass them, try to force them off social media. Because what your enjoyment of a character really has nothing to do with the person portraying them. Because they're real people. They're not, like, Moses Ingram is not Reva. Whether or not you don't like Reva, I don't care. I think Reva's awesome. But there's been no instance in my life where I have watched something and gone, I don't really like that character. And then decided, well, I'm going to go message the person that played this character and say just vile, discriminatory shit against them, because that's just disgusting. And for as great as this community can be, as we saw this weekend and as we've seen in the response to this stuff, there are some just vile corners of it. And toxicity and racism and any forms of prejudice, in my mind, have no place in fandom. And it's time that we keep calling this out. And anyone that has taken offense to Lucasfilm making these statements, you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why does the phrase "don't be racist" bother me as much as it does?
It says a lot more about those people than it does about Lucasfilm as a company, because it's like, there's been people, the usual suspects in this fandom, that have been like, Lucasfilm's attacking Star Wars fans. It's like,
Geeks and gamers.
not
What was that?
That's the
Really?
wildest thing about all this, is that
It's very revealing, isn't it?
right, the simple statement of "do not be racist" has pissed off
So many people.
so many people.
What do you
That's
mean
the
don't
scariest
be
thing,
racist?
because we're seeing all these people, specifically like on Twitter, at least that's where I'm the most active, and that's where I've been seeing it the most, of all these people that other members on Twitter and involved in Star Wars Twitter thought were good people, but they're getting angry at that statement simply because, well, I didn't like the character. They think I'm a racist now. But if that is making you mad, you are a racist. I'm sorry. If you are mad at the phrase "don't be a racist," you are a fucking racist.
It's like, oh, you're revealing more about yourself, because if you just didn't like the character, you weren't the ones that were being talked about. Like,
Exactly.
at all.
Yeah, it's like, and these people trying to just justify it, it's like, dude, just, to be blunt, just shut the fuck up.
That being said, though, there is, like, and Austin, who is a friend of the show, has pointed this out. It always seems like they're just really poorly written, or they're annoying. It's always either a woman or a person of color for the character. And whether or not you, like, there's a such thing as, like, unconscious racism. Like, you might not think you're being racist or sexist or anything like that, but you, like, there's nothing wrong with...
If there's a pattern of the characters that you dislike,
if you notice a pattern,
it's time to look in the mirror.
It's time to look in the mirror, re-examine your prejudices, and figure things out, because I'm sick of seeing this happen. And the sad part is I knew it was going to happen again, because Lucasfilm, they came out that they warned Moses that, hey, this might happen.
Lucasfilm knew.
And
they've been experienced with this kind of stuff. This is, like we said, this has happened so many times.
Especially,
they're only just now, like, kind of like being able to come back at it, which is absolutely the right thing to do. You know, they should have probably been doing this before with, like, Kelly Marie Tran, John Boyega, Ahmed Best, Jake Lloyd, Natalie Portman, and Hayden Christensen as well. But, you know, it's better late than never in this case, because, you know, this kind of stuff persists if you ignore it, and it's always important to shine a light on the uglier corners of a fandom in order to, like, as we said, expose that kind of, like, hatred and well, racism and why it's wrong, and you know, just the act of doing that often causes the people who are doing it covertly to expose themselves. Because as we said, if you're seeing the official Star Wars account tweeting out "don't be a racist" and that offends you, you need to take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, why does that bother me? Because it's like there's not liking the character, and then there's harassing the actress on social media. It's very different things, and anyone who pretends otherwise, you know, it speaks for itself.
We also can't pretend, though, that Lucasfilm making a couple social media posts is, you know, all the work that needs to be done.
No.
It's a great first step, and it is very, very late. We should have had this a long time ago. They need to take more steps in this direction, though. They need to put strikes on this content that's being put online that is hate-fueled and, you know, targeting these people. They need to actively go against...
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They have the names of these accounts. This is obviously we don't have the names of the individuals behind the accounts. You can get the accounts taken down. You can put strikes on the big YouTube accounts that are spewing this bullshit to their hundreds of thousands of followers. I know that they'll never do it because Lucasfilm is under, the House of Disney now,
Well, that and like
and Disney and
YouTube
money. But so
profits off
the
of that too.
social media, right? They can do and they should do, and
Yeah.
I think that they will. To be honest with you, eventually. What they really should start fucking doing is banning people from things like Star Wars Celebration, Galaxy's Edge. People want to say fuck you, I'm gonna boycott Disney Plus. Fine, you don't get a fucking account. You can't make one. And I know that they'll never fucking do it because it's just another fucking check for Disney, and that's all they give a shit about. But in a perfect world, that is where we should fucking be. But at the end of the day, yes, Lucasfilm made a great first step in the right direction, but they need to keep fucking going. They can't just pump the brakes as soon as they did this first single fucking step. They need to show up every single time, and they need to keep showing up harder every single time after, or else this is never going to stop.
I very much
I
agree.
agree.
Same.
I do agree with you that it is the right first step, and it does make me think that they have realized, hey, maybe we should have been more open in condemning this in the past, and at least now people like Ahmed Best and Kelly Marie Tran like are embraced by Lucasfilm. But again, I just really wish it was more there in the past, because it would have helped so much more. And I'm just glad Moses knows that there are hundreds of thousands of people supporting her, and that it gets better.
There's a lot of love.
There's a lot of love.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It was
It's a
nice
good thing.
balance to seeing all of the horrible stuff that was like sent
And
to
like
her.
she
seeing
knows it
people come out.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
She pointed
As in-
it out. She even said that the love is more, and that is a great thing, because the thing that scares me the most about the Star Wars fandom is we're going to get another Ahmed Best situation where he's spoken about it. He was moments away from ending his own life because of this
Yeah.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
And again, that's the thing that scares me the most is these shitheads on the fucking internet are going to have something like that happen again. And so the fact that Moses does know that there's more of us that love her, and we love her character, and we love her, putting in the work for Star Wars, and love having her as a part of the Star Wars family. That is very, very important. I'm really glad that at least that was able to come out of this.
Agreed.
exactly.
I'm actually going to quote The Rise of Skywalker here and say that there are more of us.
Well,
I mean,
Lucasfilm did the same thing.
It's true.
Mhm.
Like
Exactly.
if you guys like, for those listening, it might be down because of Instagram's 24-hour story stuff, but like, I'll read you what she said. She posted about 7-8 hours ago. I can't really remember the time frame. Just pretty simple. The love is louder. It overflows. Thank you. So like, she sees, I don't know if she has, I mean, she doesn't have Twitter, but like maybe she's made aware of the hashtag movements.
She
that-
does have her DMs open too, so I'm just gonna say straight up, anybody listening, fucking DM her. Tell her how fucking great she is. Tell your fucking
That's what I
friends
did too.
to do
Yeah.
the same fucking thing. I mean, who knows if she's gonna see it? It doesn't fucking matter. If she doesn't see it, it's still gonna take away a spot from some fuckhead spewing racist bullshit in her DMs.
Yeah.
Just let her fucking know, because she is awesome. She's fucking great. And whatever the fuck you can do to combat these assholes, just do it, because
Yep.
I watched
I
that
agree.
video they put out of her unboxing the
Dude,
Riva
the unboxing
figures.
video is
I
just-
It
love
was
that video.
so good.
I still need
it's
to watch
so
it.
adorable, man.
Those are my favorite things, honestly, are people in Star Wars unboxing their figures for the first time.
I need to
I just-
watch more of them because I think that was one of the first few I've seen, and it was just like you could just feel the joy.
The Force Friday
radiating
ones,
off of Moses.
when Force Awakens first came out, are some of my favorite things ever. Like they were so good.
Those I remember.
And I
John
just,
Boyega and Daisy Ridley.
the more positivity and love we have in this fandom, I am all for, because you would think that you would want to support the actors that bring you this content, but apparently not in some circles. But
Especially when the content is fucking $9.99 a month
yeah,
and you can watch it as fucking often as you want. Like, I
yeah,
know we want to say again, Disney is a money mongrel piece of shit fucking company, but we don't pay a whole lot for the Star Wars content. It's readily available for most of us, if
Yeah.
not the vast majority. Like, I don't know, man, just don't be a piece of shit. How fucking hard is that?
Apparently pretty hard in this
apparently
world.
pretty hard. It's like, oh, I could not say this racist thing, but instead I'm going to.
It's
Like,
like it's as if some Star Wars fans actually don't understand and or comprehend Star Wars.
it's
That's
very
exactly
clear they
what it
don't.
is.
Whether it's the political
We're the
stuff,
rebellion. What the
yeah.
fuck is wrong with you? You
It's like it's
fucking
almost as if they watch Empire Strikes Back and all the Yoda scenes and actually don't understand a single, and I mean a single line of dialogue that he speaks to Luke in that entire movie. The one that brings out to me right now is the dark side stronger? No, quicker, easier, more seductive.
Exactly.
Come on, that speaks for itself.
Oh, it does.
Don't even get me started on the people that just think Star Wars is, oh, badass lightsaber battles, gotta kill all these people.
Yeah, it's not just lightsaber go burr. It's a lot of
It's,
it has
yeah.
always since the
The
first
people-
fucking film been a political commentary, and all of the people that claim that they're the rebellion and we're on the right side of this shit, they are all the motherfuckers that would be the Empire. They'd be the stupid fucking stormtroopers missing every fucking shot because they're a bunch of idiots. They're the bad guys. They're fucking evil.
The people in the first episode of Obi-Wan, like, why doesn't he have his lightsaber out? Why aren't we getting the Vader fight yet? It's like,
Oh, no.
it's a story.
That's
Like,
how
See,
it's
our
the
people-
first
the
episode.
thing I love the most about some of these people complaining about the dumbest shit with Obi-Wan is that it's like you just don't understand storytelling. There needs
Oh,
to be
that's-
setup.
They
There needs to be
don't.
payoff.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
been my whole thing. Like, that's been my whole frustration with a lot of the complaints, really. And it's been
sure, you
it's
may
something
not
that's
agree with
happened
how
for
the
years.
thing was paid off. That's fine, but like, you can't deny there was payoff. Like,
Absolutely.
it's just wild to me. Speaking of Kenobi,
Huh. Yeah,
people at Celebration got to see the first two episodes, which is dope. Because apparently, I heard from some friends that went to Celebration, it went straight to the Lucasfilm logo for the first episode, so they did not see the prequel recap.
oh,
What?
Whoa, that's nuts.
That's the one
That's
scenario.
kind of evil.
That's the one example of the people at Celebration getting less than we did this weekend.
Yeah,
Fuck it, losers.
We got the
Ugh.
prequel recap, but you got all of these panels that they
They
didn't
just
see.
assumed everyone
All
kind of
the
did their
exclusive
homework
footage.
and
Oh,
watched
we
the
will.
prequels.
We'll get to that when we get to our Celebration recap. But before that, I do want to bring up one more thing, and that is the fact that it is the beginning of June. We are recording this on June 1st, which means it is the beginning of Pride Month, and Pride Month is always very important. But Pride Month, we need to remind everyone, especially here, is it's not just a month where all these corporations put rainbow colors on their logo and then ignore LGBTQ people for the rest of the year. What I do love about a lot of this community, at least my Twitter mutuals and a lot of my timeline, is the boosting of queer creators year round. And
also the fact
yeah.
that Pink Milk,
oh,
which is
they're great.
they got a shout out at Star Wars Celebration on the live stream. So like, fuck yeah, just want to point that out.
There are so many great queer creators in this community in general on the internet, and we should be supporting them year round. Now, I know the first episode I did a special shout out to the Amidala Initiative, which is a organization founded by queer Star Wars creators, and it was really founded to support a lot of the anti-LGBTQ bills that were going around in states like Florida and Texas. And I'm going to be boosting them again during Pride Month because it's a great thing to support, especially because you're supporting queer creators and you're supporting those that need it. And again, you need to remind yourself that Pride Month isn't just, oh, this month is the only month we care about gay people, and then we don't care for the rest of it. We need to keep boosting this stuff, especially because, you know, people in this podcast belong or fall under the LGBTQ plus community, and it is very important and dear to my heart, and we need to continue supporting stuff like this and boosting these creators and giving them more of a platform that they deserve, because even though certain people like to act like, oh, they don't exist and we shouldn't teach our kids about them, they exist and they're real people, and representation is important and it matters and we need more of it. So I think I'm off my soapbox. I think we should talk about Celebration now, because there is so much to talk about. And
There is indeed.
well, first of all, I want to talk about the beginning of my weekend, because I was out of town for the whole weekend. I left on Thursday, got back Monday night. I was originally supposed, as I've talked about a couple times on this podcast, but if this is your first time listening, because we did get a bunch of new viewers from the Obi-Wan recap, so if you're joining us again, hello. Hope you stick around. We're very excited to have you around. I know a lot of Chloe's community really came to us and embraced us, and I appreciate every single one of you for joining us on the ride. I'm having such a great time. But I was supposed to go to Celebration this year. I could not end up going because the people I was supposed to go with, their plans ended up falling through. I didn't want to go to Anaheim by myself, and I didn't think it was going to happen for the longest time because of this thing called COVID-19. So I was like, I got to sell my tickets, and I was able to sell 2 of them, but not all of them. So money lost, but still some money gained. So it's kind of like, like it evened it out. But I was in the airport because I was going on another trip, and I was like, okay, I'll watch the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase panel because they usually stream their big panels. I'll watch that. They decided to do things a bit different this year with the streaming.
Yeah. Well, the reason okay. All right. I'm not gonna say like I don't know the details yet, but like basically some behind the scenes shenanigans happened, mainly with Disney, and that's kind of why some panels weren't streamed.
Does it have to do with Disney Plus? Like,
No.
that's the only thing
No, it's
Sponsors,
just,
baby, sponsors.
It's just just Disney in general. That's all that's all I know. I'm pretty sure that's all I could probably say.
Because again, I mean, I was there the last 2 celebrations, so I didn't like have to watch any of the streams. But even for the big panels that we couldn't get into, they would stream them on the show floor, on the big screen.
So they still did that this year.
They did
still do that
because I heard that they didn't do that for the studio showcase. Did they still do that?
Nope.
Or
from what I've heard, they did. It was the streaming rights to YouTube that was what was fucked up this year.
Oh.
Again, I don't know everything. It was a sponsor issue. It sounds like from the couple of people that I've heard.
I hope they don't do that next year.
Yeah, let's hope they rectify it.
Especially because next year is going to
be a last minute thing as well.
Because I'm pretty sure they promoted it on the Celebration site that they would be streamed.
Oh,
they did, and everyone involved thought it was going to get streamed. Even Matt Miknovitz, who Connor even broke the news to that they weren't fucking streaming the Bad Batch panel, thought it was gonna be streamed. So
it felt so bad.
Now, I mean, I get not wanting, because I assumed it was, we wanted to show this stuff to everyone in there. I get that. I get convention exclusives. There's a beauty of going to this thing and knowing that you're going to see something that no one else until they get leaked, is going to see. Like, that's cool. The panels, however, I feel like are different because you
Convention
hyped
exclusives only work if you have something to show the general audience,
Yes.
which for more than not of these panels, they didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
We
they
got a
live
fucking
live
Mandalorian
tweeted
logo.
the panels.
That was it.
But
Yeah,
like,
and
who cares? Like, you were hyping this up, and I just feel they fumbled the bag with the streaming. Now, from what I understand, I didn't get to tune into the live streams themselves. From what I understand, they were a fun time. Every time I popped in, it seemed like some like QVC ad. But
I can confirm.
There felt
I
like a
helped
lot
live
more
stream.
filler content.
I helped live stream all 4 days with the other podcasts I'm a part of. It was not fun. No, okay. No,
The most
it was
fun part was me watching the stream and texting Connor and then watching him react to the bullshit that I texted him.
It was a lot of good bullshit.
at least the Star Wars show people were back. That was
Yeah, at least, dude.
That's true. Andy and
being
Anthony,
back.
I love those
Get
humans.
them-
They are
as
two
long-
of my favorite people.
As long as they
Yeah,
get
this
to
is
work celebrations, I'm fine. But next
Also,
year, I hope
shout
they.
out to
Experience
Christina
for the two of
Oh,
them.
definitely.
Yes. Shout out to
Christina
Christina
killed it.
Ariel.
getting to host. That was so fucking sick.
Interview with Tamir Morrison was amazing because she
Oh
didn't
my
even have
God.
to. She didn't
And
even have to ask the dude much, and
Yeah,
it was
and then didn't
it
he
was just
fucking
lovely to
sing?
watch.
Wasn't she was that was the one where he just fucking just started singing?
Yep.
She just started
Oh,
singing with him. It
She was
incredible.
singing along with him. Can we just say though? I think Tamura was the star of Celebration this year. Every single panel he was on was great. Every time he got interviewed, he was hilarious. It was the Tamura Morrison show, and it made me so happy because that man has been, I feel like, so disrespected by Lucasfilm for so long, and now to have the Tamura Renaissance with Book of Boba Fett, getting to see him in Kenobi, getting him in the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary panel. That's just fucking great.
Mando
I mean,
season
It
3
was
probably.
either Tamura or Ewan for me because the one thing I loved about Ewan and Hayden is, certain celebrities go to these conventions and they put on a happy face and they probably do enjoy themselves, but at the end of the day it's just something they have to do. Ewan
It's a
seemed
paycheck.
like he loved being there.
Yeah, like
Because
the bit
that
where,
that
like,
last
the bit
speech
where
he
he's-
had
Yeah,
was, from all accounts, not planned. He just came up there and spoke his mind, and
well, it was his first celebration
Yeah.
too, wasn't it?
exactly, he said it was
Yeah.
his first
Insane.
convention he's done, and he said he's coming back next year, so that's more reason for me to bite the bullet. And
He also said
go to one.
Obi-Wan's getting
Go
7,
10
8,
ep-
9, and 10 episodes.
That,
so
that man better be that man better not be fucking with us.
That was definitely Ewan definitely was fucking joking.
I don't know. I love
if he wasn't.
it's awesome when people that portray your favorite characters are also just like the absolute fucking best, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what I can say about Ewan
Yeah,
and
and
Hayden
it's-
for that matter.
Yeah,
the
both
reaction
of
they
them.
both got was beautiful, and the thing I love the most is how the prequels have gone through phases, and now they are widely embraced by the majority of the community, and getting to see them like get that love and embrace it and finally come around on a lot of that stuff that they had negative memories with because of how they were received when they came out and all the hate that was thrown their way. Funny how things repeat themselves. Let's stop with
Yep.
that, please. But all of the stuff I saw from Ewan this weekend was just a blast. And Tamura Morrison as well. I'm so glad that he's back. I hope they continue to use him because it's a little cheap, but he does play a million different versions of himself. So you can literally throw him in anything and people will freak out because Tamura
Tamura's
Morrison
world,
is just
and we're all living in
the
it.
coolest guy in the world. And the one video of him doing the Haka to the Book of Boba Fett theme, so good. I
It was
I
amazing.
love the man, and I'm
it's
so
great
glad
to
that
be
he's
able to
getting
see
more.
him. it's great to be able to see him embrace his culture too and implement it
Yeah.
into
the
his
characters.
current Star Wars. I love that.
That being said, the people that, when he was talking about how he was body shamed, you can fuck right off with that. That man is a work of art.
The
Stop.
he
fact that
called it
people
out.
called him, right? He called it out, and the fact that people called him Boba Fett, and then you see him in Book of Boba Fett, and I mean, y'all have to remember this man is fucking 60, and he's fucking jacked. All right, you no neck, fucking neck beard. That was 2 neck insults. Wow, that was lame, Jake. Basement dwelling pieces of shit calling fucking Tamura Morrison fat. I mean, oh my god,
You
Super
can't. You,
pathetic.
you can't
That
win
makes
with
me
these
mad.
people.
Ugh.
But
I
on
was
the
going to mention
bright
about
side, it
Ewan
looked
though
like he had
before
a
we
great
get
time.
away.
He
Before we get away from Ewan, I was going to mention like my favorite thing that he did all across Celebration was when they first sat down for that interview, him and Hayden, and they just got that overwhelming response. And he
Yeah.
just like after it died down, he just pointed at the crowd to get them to cheer again. It's just like it's just lovely to see like not just the overwhelming sense of like love and appreciation that like they're being greeted with, but also how much it clearly means to them, like you said.
Yeah, and
That whole interview was great. By
also
the way,
the
and
Ewan.
signing off with "This is where the fun begins" is
Yeah.
iconic.
That was my favorite part because the fact that that was like a line that he had been ridiculed for in the past for
Oh,
his delivery,
I've
and
always
now
loved that line.
we're all prequel kids. We all
I
loved
know.
it, but people always used to bash on him, and so
Yeah.
now the fact that he's able to use that as a way to get fans excited, it's
Oh, the
great
crowd
to see that.
The cheers that
exploded.
happen with that
Oh,
at
they did, yeah.
Celebration.
And of
I
course
love it.
the hello there at the beginning of the studio showcase panel.
So
What a
iconic.
way. He said it. He knows. He just knows.
I just put on Twitter like he said the thing.
And the amount of people that I saw on Twitter talking about how great their experiences were, like at the photo ops for Ewan, the dude's a legend. And now I don't feel bad at all about the amount of money I dropped to get that Ewan autograph because I couldn't go to Celebration. So,
I got to meet Hayden Christensen in
oh my god, I can't. Even imagine.
2018. First of all, he was the nicest dude ever. I mean, for anyone that's ever been in a photo op, typically how they go is you get shuffled in by an usher, they yell at you to smile, your picture gets taken, and you leave, right?
Yep.
Hayden actually greeted me and all 3 of my cousins like individually, like shook our hands, like said hello, even talked to us like for a couple of seconds. And I say seconds, again, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're used to literally getting thrown into this picture and dragged back out 2 seconds later, and he made sure to take the time to talk to all of us and like even like ask our names. That's fucking huge. Like,
Yeah.
and he was having fun with it. So just again, that he's continued to be able to like stay in the limelight and now is part of Kenobi and is eventually going to be part of Ahsoka. And to be honest with you, we all fucking love him, so I would not be shocked if they bring him back for more. It is so great to see that he's able to enjoy the fan base now.
Yeah. It's.
I love that.
I love that this is
I
happening
really,
for so
really
many
hope
people.
I can go to a Celebration at one point and get a photo op with just like whoever gets announced. Because like when this Celebration
Same.
happened,
Ayla Sakura.
bro, Amy Allen, yeah, I want to, dude. I still can't believe it. Amy Allen at Celebration, her photo op was $50. Granted, she's like no one except for like us pretty much know who she is.
Connor, if
Because
you
she
don't get that
portrayed-
Black Series, I'm going to shame you for it for the rest of your life.
Bro, I'm getting that Black Series. Like I love
Pre-orders
Ayla
went up.
Sakura.
Pre-orders went up 4 hours ago. You better get on that.
I'm not doing the I'm not gonna do pre-orders. I'm just gonna buy it when it comes out.
Well, good
I
luck,
mean, you
because if
think
you go to
that's how
any
Black Series
Target, all you're
works?
going to see is Return of the Jedi Lando on the shelf, and that's it.
Yep. And yeah,
Or
empty
Quill.
pegs where it says, "Oh God, we still got 100 Quill figures in every Target."
I'm gonna
I'll
get
have to see where
depressed.
I'll have to see where the closest Target is, and I'll just rush over.
I'm just glad that they're announcing.
No, you're gonna have
yeah.
to pre-order it.
I'm just glad that they're announcing merch for Kenobi, like, and not a year after the show comes out.
I'm simultaneously glad and pissed because this is without a doubt the best Black
bet.
Series wave we have ever gotten, just in terms of like accuracy to the material and like use of new parts and that kind of stuff. I have so many fucking figures on pre-order right now. I'm going to have no money. I'm going to starve to death. I'm going to die because I spent all my money on plastic Star Wars things. That sounds weird, but yeah.
Well, at least there's 2 of us. There are more. There are more of us.
There are more of us.
But like Amy Allen, her photo op was $50. That's highway robbery. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's the cost of 2 Black Series now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might pre-order Sakura and some of the Kenobi stuff after.
When I went
Connor, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sending you the link right now.
All right, bet.
When I went to Celebration Orlando, the photo op with Ashley Eckstein was like 75, and I just know now if I go next year, it's gonna be like double that at least. So,
yeah. Dude, the fact that she was under 100 shocks me, if I'm being honest.
Maybe it was
Ashley's
a little over
another
100,
one.
but the photo ops were definitely way cheaper than the autographs. But I didn't. I did 4 of them. Well, I registered for 4 of them. I only did 1, and I refunded the other 3 because the line was over 2 hours long, and it was a mess. Orlando, the organization was just terrible. It was such a fun weekend, but the panel organization and everything sucked because that was before any of the lottery stuff existed, and it just.
So I can say though, Celebration 2019 in Chicago was also a mess. By the second day, you had people that found out they could just walk in without passes. And they were taking seats from people in panels that people had won lotteries for these panels, and people that didn't win the lottery or didn't even have a ticket to that day were able to get in instead. I will say, I love Celebration. Celebration 2019 was the greatest weekend of my life. I am unfortunately not going to be able to go next year because it's in London, and I just do not have the finances to send myself overseas right now. I am doing everything in my power to make sure I never have to miss another celebration again in my life. ReedPop really needs to do a better job of handling these things.
Yeah, I agree.
I've only been to one of the last 3, but the one I went to was not managed well. The one before, everything I've heard said it was managed worse. And this year sounds like it was managed just as poorly. They need to do a better job.
But speaking of people that live overseas, Don, how excited are you that Celebration is in your neck of the woods?
I can't quite believe it. I wasn't expecting them to go back to London. In all honesty,
the thing, Don. It's April 7th to April 10th. Daisy Ridley's birthday is April 10th.
That's
She's
nuts.
coming.
That, like, she probably could be there for a photo op, but like, I swear to God, if she signs up and you don't get a photo op with Daisy freaking Ridley, I will be very, very disappointed in you.
Oh, I'm getting
It
3.
needs to happen.
I'm getting 15. Yeah,
I would love a photo op with Daisy Ridley and with Ewan McGregor. That would be awesome.
I straight up would die if I got a photo op with Daisy Ridley.
You had already said he'd be there.
Yeah, he did. That's insane. It's like the whole thing is just nuts.
I'm so. If I can't go, I'll be bummed. But I'm gonna at least try. Again, that shocks me because I thought for sure it was gonna be Orlando because there hasn't been one since Galaxy's Edge opened, and it's the 40th of Return of the Jedi. So I thought, here we go, bing bang boom. So now it's probably gonna be 2024. But I mean, London's cool. Celebration 2016, I remember hearing really good things about. So I'm not shocked, but I was willing to bet money that it would be Orlando.
We should point out, though, that this year's Celebration was supposed to be 2020, which is the year the Galaxy's Edge opened. Florida, Orlando would have been, I'm not going to lie, I guarantee you if COVID had not happened, Florida would have been the next one. But it has also, by the time Celebration rolls around next year, it will be 7 years since the last time they did one in Europe. So it does make sense that they're going back, and it's
Yeah.
a good thing because
It's definitely good for
I'm
me.
not gonna lie, it is definitely good for Don and a lot of my other pals overseas because it is upsetting hearing a lot of like my European friends talk about how they feel excluded from these kinds of things because of how not often they get to attend Celebration. So I am at the end of the day really really glad that they're going back to London next year.
Yeah.
Because we
We're
don't need
talking
another
from
one right
a-
next to Galaxy's Edge.
We're talking, I mean, the three of us, except Don, are all talking from a place of privilege of these normally happen where we live. So it's really cool for the rest of us. But talking about the streams and how Celebration is handled is one thing, but we did get a whole lot of big reveals at the studio showcase panel, starting with the Andor trailer, which I watched that in the airport. I got fooled. Someone put a fake trailer up on the timeline. I was like, "Oh my god, here we go!" I'm like, "Why is there no footage from this show?"
I got fooled by that too.
And then I'm like, "Oh, it's fake." I'm like, "Fuck!" But then 2 minutes later, they dropped the real trailer, and I was very hyped. I was always expecting the show to be up my alley. I was shocked how much I enjoyed this trailer. I loved getting to see the Coruscant life of the senators. Getting to see
Coruscant looked
so
amazing.
good. Getting to see the Imperial Senate made me freak out. But the one thing that I need to talk about here is Mon Mothma.
Yes.
I mean,
Mon Mothma looked really good in that trailer.
like
I didn't think she'd be such a main character as well. I think that's actually really cool.
I'm
That's what
so
surprised
excited.
me the most.
Mon Mothma
The
has
fact
this
that
status in Star Wars, and yet she's often always been an ancillary character that we don't know a huge amount about. She's often been like a supporting character, so I think it's really cool that she's now like got lead character status in a show, and we can find
right,
out.
it seems
more
like
about
she's a dual
After
protagonist
Rebellion.
along with Cassie.
Yeah. Which makes a lot of sense because, like, you know, you've got this person who is who is thoroughly disillusioned with the Empire and figuring out ways to like fight, and you've got Andor, who the trailer, well, they basically have hyped him up as being very kind of not defeated, but very nihilistic.
What is
terms of how
interesting
he
to
views
note, though,
everything.
is in the trailer we see clones, which means we are going to see Cassian's childhood.
I'm pretty sure
That
we saw they were practical as well, which is a
Yep.
nice departure
Which
as well.
is the same as in Kenobi. Kenobi was the first time we had ever gotten live action clone armor. Don't jump me
Yeah.
saying it was Book of Boba Fett because it wasn't. That
Yeah.
was actually First Order Stormtrooper armor with clone armor CG'd over it, which is
nuts.
goofy as hell. I'm not quite sure why they did
why
that.
did
I
they do
suppose
that?
because I would guess because it was a 2-second scene in a show that they were never going to be used again. Obviously, in Kenobi, we've seen the clone armor on 2 different instances now. I would be shocked if in the last 3 episodes we don't see it again.
I'm certain. I thought this episode was the one we'd get Clone Wars flashbacks. I'm certain within the next few we're going to get one, especially because of how
I know that this isn't
episode 3 ended.
Right, I know that this isn't our Kenobi recap episode, but there's a certain shot of a certain character towards the end of the episode that makes me think, oh, we're gonna get so much characters reflecting on their past in the next
Absolutely.
episode, and
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Taking it back to Andor, like
Yes.
I'm really impressed with like just the overall production values of like just the series in general. It's really got a different feel as well.
It's
like
astonishing.
It
yeah,
looks
like it's so different
so
from like
cool.
all the other from all the previous shows, which Obi-Wan has also had the distinction of doing. So it's really nice to see that Lucasfilm aren't just going to be like kind of going for the same tone with Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian, that they're going to also have variety, because Andor seems very, very much in the same tone as Rogue One, which I was really impressed by.
Yeah.
I
And
am
also
definitely gonna
sets
need.
as well, amazing. Like the big, that white room with all the Imperials officers in, that was awesome. That was like proper like 70s style retrofuturism. I loved it.
Exactly. And we have Pinewood to thank for that because
Exactly.
sure, what's it called? The Volume Studio, that's cool and all, whatever. It does not touch the dirt that Pinewood Studios walks on with the ability that it has to make sets look alive and grand in scale and just feel physically tangible. Like,
So this one wasn't shot where like Mandalorian was. Like this one was shot at
nope.
Pinewood.
So
Yes, it was.
Andor was filmed in Pinewood Studios. This is the first of the Disney Plus shows that has been filmed in Pinewood. Mando, both seasons, Book of Boba Fett, and Kenobi were all filmed out of the California studio, which
With the stagecraft stuff and all that stuff.
right, with the stagecraft and the volume and all that. Obviously, the production value is not nearly on par with the films. None of us expected it to be because it is television.
TV budgets are different than movie budgets.
Right. I will say, I personally do not feel like any of the Disney Plus shows as of yet have hit the production value that they should, even for a lower budget studio. That's just me. Andor, though, looks, brilliant. It looks phenomenal. It looks just as good, if not better, than every single live action film we've gotten. And again, we have the very, very talented people at Pinewood to thank for that. And everybody get excited. The Acolyte will also be doing its
That's the
production
one
at
that
Pinewood Studios.
Oh, cool.
Well, bet.
I'm very shocked that we didn't get anything from the Acolyte at Celebration.
Yeah.
Lando
I
was
would've
touched on, but like
we got more about John
an
Watts show than we
offsite,
did about Acolyte.
an offsite interview. She was like, "Yeah, that'll come when Glover's schedule is more available." It's pretty much confirming that he's still going to be in there. But remember, we can't recast legacy characters anymore.
Does it?
I don't know.
Part of me almost gets afraid that interview was a little. It's up to Glover. It's not our fault. It's never coming out, and it's never gonna come out.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
But
I'm very excited for Andor.
I'm very excited getting to see Coruscant again. And this area of Coruscant, I'm very excited about. Mon Mothma, again, it's so cool to me that they still have Genevieve O'Reilly in this role all these years later after she was in a deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith, and now she gets to play these characters. My first incorrect prediction of the weekend was me thinking, oh yeah, for sure, Jimmy Smits is going to come on during this panel, and they're going to announce him as Bail. Turns out I just got the show wrong, but I still think
No
he's
shot.
He's
Not in Andor though.
I think he's going to show up.
No shot. He's not in Andor.
If it's not in this season, he's going to be in season 2. He is,
which is really
100%
exciting that they're already talking about season 2. What is it? 4 months before the first season airs. I love that they went into this with a set goal in mind, and they had it completely planned out and ready to go before they even started shooting the first episode.
And I love how
it's so exciting.
It's going to have a longer episode count than any of the other shows so far. 12 episodes a season, which is great because we get to expand on Cassian, we get to expand on the early portions of the Rebellion, and the fact that they said season 1, it takes place 5 years before Rogue One. Season 1 is going to spawn the first year, and then season 2 is going to be the rest. So whether that's a big time jump, whether that's it takes up so much time in the season, it's really exciting to me because I get castrated for this a bunch, but Rogue One isn't my favorite of the Disney movies. I like it. I have my issues with it. But I've always wanted or been excited about the prospect of an Andor show because I want to see more of these characters. I want to get more development on them. I want to have material that makes me look back on the movie and go, yeah, this hits a lot harder now. And I think
that's
Andor,
what's really important.
Yeah.
That's what's really important with the 24 episodes is unlike the Mandalorian or Bad Batch or even Kenobi, I feel like it's suffering less so than the previous 2 shows have just because better writing. 24 episodes over the course of 2 seasons is actually going to give these characters time to have real conversations rather than just going on fetch quests from point A to point B.
And they're not rushing anything. They're like, oh, K2, we're gonna wait. we're gonna build to K2 getting
Right.
introduced.
We're going to
Exactly.
be able to get those real human interactions. We're going to be able to get interesting filler episodes, which I know everybody loves to bitch about filler. The best fucking shows are loaded with filler because you actually get to see your characters doing things that your characters would do, rather than just watching your characters do stuff. There's a difference, and I know it doesn't sound like there is, but there is.
Well, it's
And
gonna
that
be great.
24 episodes lets that happen.
It's gonna be great not having to be like, okay, this is cool, but like we have like 4 episodes left. Like we got to get to something at some point. But I am very excited. So moving on to other stuff we've got some teases at Mando season 3. Looks like there's going to be a lot more Bo-Katan in the season, which I am hyped about because I am a
Same.
massive fan
Yeah.
of Bo-Katan.
Season 3 looks like it has a really solid narrative
Yeah.
going for it, just from that shitty iPhone trailers
Footage
that we all
saw.
watched.
Yeah. I didn't see the extended one that they showed at the Mando Plus panel, but I saw this one.
Find it. It looks really, really interesting.
Okay.
I'm very excited by it, especially with the fact that they're going back to Mandalore, and it looks like they'll be digging more into like the rifts between the different Mandalorian coverts, because like they really set that up in the second season finale with Bo-Katan saying that Mandalorians are stronger together, and it kind of overlays the theme of like overcoming, rising above past prejudices and past practices that don't work anymore. Like, for instance, the Mandalorian removing his helmet. And I think that's like, I mean, I'm concerned, I won't lie, about the direction that Bo-Katan is going in, because like with the twist from last season that Din now has the Darksaber, and that Bo-Katan cannot just take it from him. She has to beat him in combat. I was kind of getting some like Jon and Daenerys vibes from, like, as in Game of Thrones Series 8, and I'm really hoping they don't like match that in terms of like where that ultimately ended up, because like that would be so kind of retrograde in a way for Star Wars, like especially with like how complicated a character Bo-Katan has become. Like, because I definitely want them to acknowledge her kind of villainous past, because like that's never really been reckoned with to like a true degree.
No, they
in-
definitely
in
just kind of
Rebels.
brushed over it.
Yeah, and it needs to be dealt with, and I think this is a really good opportunity to show her kind of grappling with that like darker, more terrorist aspect of her character that she started as. Like if you go back and watch the A Friend in Need episode, like the Death Watch there, they aren't portrayed as noble. They're a bunch of like vagabonds and like scumbags, like torturing droids for fun, and she's part of that. Like, she's doing evil smirks in season 5 with with like Pre Vizsla's in at her side. She's very much kind of a villain right up until Maul takes control, and then she's not. And it's understandable, it's believable, but I really want to see them reckon with that without having to like say like kill her off in
Yeah.
order to like.
It would be
and
really
turn into a villain.
disappointing.
If they kill her.
It would be really disappointing if they took another complex villain type character only to kill them. Because I know, unfortunately, it's the common trend in Star Wars. I don't know if they're just trying to emulate Darth Vader over and over and over again, or we just genuinely don't have as good of writers working on Star Wars as we think we do, and they just don't know what to do with a character besides kill them. I don't
True.
know.
I'm so sick of the redemption equals death stuff.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
enough of
It's,
that, please.
it's tiring. It's boring. It
My hope
honestly
is that
makes the payoff lesser.
I'm
Yeah, my
hoping
hope
she's
with
not
Mandalorian
like the
is
like full on villain of the season. I'm expecting that we get some,
I wouldn't expect so.
but again,
expect it'll be a misdirect.
She looks so cool in the trailer. The Grogu line of "You think your dad isn't the only Mandalorian?" Which, Dad, first of all, cried a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But getting to see Mandalore in live action, dream come true. Quick mention to the logo of this season, which I love the color scheme for it. And I think they said
It's my favorite color scheme.
it's
Yeah.
so cool. And I think they said February 2023 for Mando
Yep.
season 3. So I'm hyped. I was hoping they'd release this trailer, but they didn't. We at least got to see the
We did
Andor
get
trailer.
the D23 We did get the D23 announcement the other day, though. I believe it's September 8th, if I'm
We'll
remembering
probably
off
get
the top of my
something
head.
there.
Yeah, that is where we're probably going to get the first look, I would think.
Yes. But then we got our first, I guess, big announcement of something new coming during the weekend, and that is Skeleton Crew, which was the grammar rodeo show that had been rumored for a while, the Stranger Things in space. This is right up my alley. One, I love Stranger Things, so I'm very excited to see this type of story in Star Wars. Dave Filoni kind of like reiterated that it stars kids, but it's not a kid show. Like,
Yeah, I loved his comment.
it's about
like,
as
if you,
much of a kid
yeah,
show
it's
as the
not as
Clone Wars, where
kid-friendly as
people
the
got
Clone Wars is.
decapitated.
And
So
people got like tortured, and they were like zombies, and clones would get like brutally murdered, and you'd have to hear their death screams. It's like, yeah, it's funny that you use Stranger Things as a reference point, because, like, I mean, I've never seen it, but my immediate reference point when I read about it was, oh, this is like the Goonies.
that's
in
another
space.
comparison that
That's
people
what
are using.
I was thinking. Yeah,
and it
the
would
way
make
they
so
talked
much
about
sense. Makes so much sense for Lucasfilm to kind of draw on that, given its like kind of vicinity amidst like the era that Star Wars was so prescient in the 80s and the 70s.
Also, can we talk about Jude fucking
Jude
Law?
Law. Oh
Jude
my
Law.
god, I
wasn't
freaked out.
expecting that. Okay,
What
does
a-
anyone have any theories on who he's playing?
A lot of people are
I'm gonna
saying he's
guess
going to be
the
the
villain.
villain. Yeah.
See, I think that I see my theory. Okay, this is probably a long shot. My theory is that he's playing an adult version of Lux Bonteri from the Clone Wars. Because, like,
I think I saw you say that in one
yes,
of the Discords.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I saw someone suggest that he might be Corky Kryze.
Obi-Wan's kid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
make
casting.
some sense. But like looking at the model for Lux, I can kind of see someone like Jude Law playing him, because he does have a British accent. And okay, spoilers for Inferno Squad if anyone hasn't read that novel, but he turns up in that novel.
Lux Bonteri
he's
does?
still in play. Yes.
I did
Yes,
not
he does.
know that.
And apologies for spoiling it.
I
but,
don't.
like,
It's a 5-year-old
It's a
book.
good ass book.
yeah, like
It's a good ass book.
Oh, it is an amazing book. And he shows up in that, and he's still in play by the end of that novel. So it really feels like he's being kept around for a reunion with Ahsoka, because, you know, they had that kind of on again, off again kind of like romance going back and forth from like seasons like 3 to 5 of the Clone Wars. And you know, given that Jude Law is a similar age to Rosario Dawson right now, and given that this show is likely, because this has got Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau also producing, so I imagine it's set around the same era. So I would wager it links up.
My guess
with the
is
show.
it's going to be like adjacent. It might reference certain things that happen in Mando and Book of Boba Fett, but I don't think it's going to directly cross over with those
I'm
shows.
gonna think that by the end of it, it probably will tie in more directly.
Maybe we
My
see
guess,
like a
though-
minor character like Pelimoto show up at some point, but I don't think we're going to see like
That
Din
feels
Djarin
likely,
in this show
but I
or
do
anything.
feel like by the end, just because they're talking about kids, they've talked about these kids are special. They've talked about the adventure they're going to go on. I'm going to assume it's some sort of Force sensitivity.
Oh, it
And the
will be.
end game will probably be them joining up with Luke, which is why I got the feeling that Jude Law is probably another Imperial Remnant type villain, because imagine him and Giancarlo Esposito feeding off of each other.
That would be pretty dope.
That would be
I-
See, I
Yeah.
I love Jude Law, even in stuff I'm not a fan of. I think he is just great. Like I am on the Fantastic Beasts movies, but he's great as a young.
Remind me to
Dumbledore.
tell you about the third. I can't remember the name of it, but remind me to tell you about this one TV show he once did that had a 12-hour live stream episode. Which
You talked about this during Celebration when they announced.
I will one day I'll like talk to you guys about it in more detail. But yeah, like that man, he's dedicated to like his craft.
Yeah,
so I cannot wait
so
to
good.
see what he does in the Star Wars sandbox.
So my guess is I'm thinking villain too, but I'm thinking it's gonna be like the kids think he's an ally, and then he turns out to be a villain. But I'm also assuming this show goes a couple seasons, just by the nature of it, getting to see the kids grow up. I'm excited. I think they're filming it I don't know what they said in the panel, but I'm pretty sure it's starting filming this summer. They're probably still casting the kids, but I'm really looking forward to it. Out of the new projects, it's probably one of my most anticipated, just because the concept sounds great. It doesn't sound like something we've seen before.
The concept art we saw too
The concept art looks so
very
cool.
interesting.
And
I will say though, you said they probably haven't cast the kids yet. I'm gonna disagree. I feel like the show is much farther into production than we assumed, because they said it's coming out 2023.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's filled the void that Rangers of the New Republic was supposed to occupy, because like it, and I actually, to be honest, I think it's for the best, and I'm not just saying that because of like, you know, Rangers of the New Republic was supposed to be supposedly meant to be a Gina Carano vehicle, and then that when she went
That
to
person.
full Republican.
Yeah, who the hell are you talking about, Don?
Yeah,
But like, I
who
actually
the hell
think
is this?
Skeleton Crew is actually a better idea because it feels more original. Because like Knights of the
It definitely
And
is.
it's being made by
Rangers
John
of the New
Watt.
Republic feels kind of like, it feels more like it would just be kind of a repeat of like Mandalorian, like going through the frontier.
Right.
Like
It felt
the
like a
experience.
mosh pot of
Yeah.
a bunch of these characters
Yeah.
that did not belong together, and it
Yeah.
felt like they wanted to cram them together just
Whereas
to
like
have a
this,
spin-off.
Whereas this is a new cast of characters. It's a different kind of scenario, different kind of plot, and I feel like that's more. Not only is it
Yeah,
more
and there's
original,
probably
it also
actually
yeah.
script written with it, unlike
Yeah.
Rangers of the New Republic, which has
Oof.
been said multiple times that like they did not have anything.
They
It
just
was
have a
just an
logo. That was
idea.
it. It was just an
Apparently,
idea.
that John had, and just like Kathy's like, yeah, we'll just put a logo up there for Disney Plus Day.
Also
Which is
excited
something
on
we
what-
need to discuss. Like, how, as a multi-bajillion-dollar company, are you announcing ideas? Like, oh, I have an idea that I'm going to go to Dunkin' Donuts to get breakfast tomorrow, but I'm probably not gonna. Let me tell the whole world and get people excited that I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like,
Yeah,
I know we love to bash on Lucasfilm for their poor marketing practices, and we're a month
seems
out from this show and we still haven't seen a trailer or a poster or anything yet. But it's like, guys,
Yeah, and
I'm
it hopefully
begging.
seems to. It's. I mean, to me at least, it seems to me that they're turning a corner on that.
Because to
It
me,
does.
it seemed
It
like
really
they
does.
fixed the whole. We can't reveal anything during The Force Awakens because we don't want any spoilers coming out. The Vanity Fair article to me, is flawed as some of it was, seemed like okay, this is a new direction we're going in. We're going to be more open about what we're working on now. You're going to get more glimpses of stuff, which I hope they stick to, because, I mean, I'm all for not revealing stuff, because as we've seen in Obi-Wan, we only had stuff from the first 2 episodes, and now everything is going to be a
That
shock to
approach
us going
works.
forward.
That
But-
approach, I think, really
Yeah.
works.
It
But like
works.
It
the
does,
whole,
because we got to see a bit.
Yeah.
But the only 2 shots left from the trailer are the shots of Reva walking up with the new Purge troopers and the shots of Reva blocking saber bolts, blaster bolts, and Fortress Inquisitores. Those are the
And then
only
there's
2
that
shots
shot
we
of
have.
Ned B shooting.
Oh yeah.
Presumably
Oh, I
Stormtroopers.
forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Okay, so
he's
we have
probably-
3 shots left from the trailer for 3 episodes. There is endless fucking possibilities. That is exciting.
They didn't
Kenobi
hint at Leia
has
at
had-
all.
Right.
And
Kenobi has had the best marketing out of, I'm not gonna lie, anything since probably Last Jedi, because the Solo marketing was
Terrible.
rough. The Rise of Skywalker marketing, while I enjoyed those trailers, was pretty piss poor as well. The Mando stuff has been downright horrendous. The
Awful.
Boba Fett marketing has been horrendous.
Non-existent.
The Bad Batch marketing was horrendous. And so Kenobi, for the first time, this marketing, it's felt like I'm getting excited to go see a new Star Wars movie
We're
in
actually
December again.
getting
Even though
stuff.
it's fucking May.
Yeah,
Like,
we're getting stuff,
And the
and
fact
like
that it was supposed to be a movie, I'm pretty sure they marketed
that's
it
why
like a
that's
movie,
why I think
and
it
it's
feels
like,
different.
they did.
Do that.
Well,
with
we also had
everything.
Pablo Hidalgo saying that they've always had talks of a Kenobi movie or a show. It had gone back and forth between the two ever since 2017. So it is really cool to see them executing it that way, and like getting the actors and Deborah Chow involved in discussing it. It's just,
Yeah.
it's weird again because I'm the guy that likes to shit on everything that Lucasfilm does. They're doing a much better fucking job. They're actually marketing this show. They're getting the people that were making it and the people that are excited to watch it like involved, and it's coming through in every single.
And it paid off because it was the biggest premiere of a Disney Plus series by
on
far.
Disney Plus of the show, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, where the marketing of the secrecy went too far is when you had stuff like Mando, where they couldn't make Grogu merch until like 6 months after Mando came out because they were too afraid to give it to the toy companies because they didn't want spoilers leaking out. I'm hoping we're done with that now. Because, again...
Or they're just handled better if there's, like, anything on the level of Grogu again.
Yeah, seeing stuff
here's the deal.
where I'm sure...
Leaks suck. Everybody hates leaks.
It's
annoying as hell getting the same character in all of the merch for the next 2 years because you guys didn't want to market him before the show came out.
Yeah.
I would much rather they had said, hey, there's a smaller Yoda in the new Mandalorian show. Everybody get excited. I would have rather had that than had the neat little reveal in one episode and then had Grogu crammed down my throat endlessly everywhere I go. I could be in Big Y and I see Grogu on a cereal box now. It's kind of annoying at this point.
I agree. That's why I'm excited for all the Kenobi stuff.
Oh, yeah, I get to see Lola on a cereal box.
Lola. Yeah, Andrew. You and I just talking on Twitter. We're getting Lola on the new Obi-Wan Black series. Which that's the way to do it. They announced the Obi-Wan figure. They're so good.
The molds, because I have the Obi-Wan figures. Like the episode 3 mold.
The earlier ones are rough.
But like this one is like really, really good. Really impressive.
It's phenomenal. I genuinely cannot talk enough about how good Hasbro has done with this, and I just want to say the way to do it is we got the Obi-Wan figure announcement. Ewan announced it on Jimmy Kimmel, which I will admit is a little weird considering we had a live stream that day and they didn't announce it there. Whatever, I'll ignore that because they announced at Celebration during the Hasbro panel we're getting a mini Lola with the new Obi-Wan figure. That's how you do it. Just announce that the figure's getting made, show it off, and then if the accessories are spoilery, wait to show them off because the figure doesn't release for another couple of months. That's the way to do it. And what's also exciting is, for me personally, with both how good the Omega Bad Batch Black Series figure was, and with the inclusion of Lola in the Obi-Wan figure, I guarantee you we are getting a little Leia Black Series.
Oh, please. The highlight of my life is little Leia.
I need Reva because I talked about
another phenomenal figure.
That figure looks so cool.
Phenomenal character.
Genuinely,
the lightsaber, the Force FX lightsaber looks so cool too. $500 is a
really
lot.
Does.
But
that is a lot. But it's for a double-bladed saber.
$500 on a Force FX Inquisitor lightsaber. I probably would.
Fair enough.
Probably would.
Yeah.
If I was especially wealthy,
Reva. Especially if it's Reva's, because I fucking love that character.
I'll be getting the blue outfit Kenobi for sure. I mean, I already have the first one pre-ordered.
To get that
I'll be getting that one too because that outfit is.
I'm gonna have to get the blue one too. It's amazing.
I might get that too, and
especially with the tunics, the poncho that parallels Luke's.
See, that's where they got me. Is I know that it's the same figure with a little bit of different paint, but they're two different ponchos. That's where you got me, Hasbro.
And here's the thing with Reva, I get to act out a possible thing that could happen in Jedi Survivor. Probably won't. Reva versus Cal. Dude, it sounds dope.
I genuinely Reva figure. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have it in hand. We've only seen a couple of pictures of it, and then the small video of Moses playing around with the figure. I don't mean to over-exaggerate. I think that might be the best Black Series that Hasbro has ever produced. Just from both the likeness to the character, the accuracy to the costume, they hid the articulation wonderfully, and it looks wildly articulated, which is great because a lot of recent Black Series have really lacked proper articulation. The soft goods cape, I mean, I'm a toy loser. I know most people listening don't care. They wish we were talking about Clone Wars right now or something. That figure blows my mind. It looks amazing.
Well, I mean, this is the stuff we missed in the episodes that you weren't on the last few weeks. So
Me
I'm gonna just
ranting
say-
about plastic Star Wars things.
I just gotta say, Joby,
And a
Andrew,
t-shirt.
I know y'all wrote not you, Andrew Stanton. I know y'all wrote episode 6. Don't fucking kill Reva.
Oh, I
Don't do
forgot
it.
about that.
Don't do it.
Forgot about it.
I will be big
We're-
sad. Don't
We're not going to
kill
even
Moses Ingram.
entertain that idea because
Yeah.
if it happens, I don't want to say what I'll do.
But yeah, Skeleton Crew looks really cool. So
Skeleton Crew looks great. Yeah, no, I'm excited for Skeleton Crew.
Jude Law in Star Wars is just a plus for me. I love that.
Were
guy.
y'all able to stay on topic when I wasn't here, or is this just a me thing?
moving on.
Woman-
I'm just so what else came from the panel? Because I don't think Young Jedi Adventures was the studio showcase. I just think they
No,
randomly
that was
announced that
announced
in the middle of the day.
during the Star Wars show. Which can we
Yeah, that
talk
was-
about that one? Because holy shit.
Young Jedi Adventures? Yeah, let's
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually getting like
Oh my-
media in the High Republic era. That's going to be
Right.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Did they
High
say what
Republic.
platform it was going to be? Like, is it going to be YouTube? Like the like
It is
the
Disney
They said
Plus and
Disney
Disney
Plus and
Junior.
Disney Junior.
okay.
Now-
right,
Which
that's-
makes me think
that's an idea of like what kind of show to expect. Because I was wondering, is it going to be like that Galaxy of Adventures
So-
animation that's on YouTube? But
What
I guess
I'm
it's gonna be more,
thinking though, I feel like it's gonna be Resistance reminiscent because Resistance, while it was released on Disney XD, also aired on Disney Junior simultaneously, I believe.
It was Disney Channel, I think. Like the
Was it?
proper one. Yeah, because... But it had the Sunday at 10:30 p.m. slot time, which was
Yeah.
the ultimate death knell.
I
Now-
adore Resistance. I'm not gonna lie. Controversial opinion to say on a podcast called For the Republic. It's probably my favorite Star Wars animated show. I'm gonna get
It's
canceled for that.
really
You're
charming.
killing
I'll-
me, Jake.
I'll
I'm
give
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Come on.
I don't.
But yes.
I'm saying this is someone whose favorite Star Wars movie is Attack of the Clones. I totally get it.
Look, that's the
I
beauty
just- I
here.
still
We
need to
all
finish.
like
we all have
Andrew,
different
you
stuff.
said it's so charming.
It's so
Every
charming.
single one of those characters just makes me so happy.
I hope we get
Pyre
those.
and Tierney, wonderful villains.
I hope we get those kind of character art in this show. I'm just shocked
agree.
that it took this long to get something like this. To where, like, obviously, people are like, oh, I don't want kids stuff. Well, one, it's owned by Disney, so what do you like? You're gonna get stuff of all
like-
ages.
Kitty
And
This
nature.
is all said while we have like this very very older leaning Obi-Wan show that's all about like
Exactly.
trauma and like PTSD, and you have these very intense scenes and these truly terrifying scenes with certain villainous characters that we'll get into in the next recap.
The beauty
But,
of
like,
yeah, exactly.
exactly, like Star Wars should have variety. There should be shows that maybe appeal.
Well,
that are maybe
George
intended
Lucas
for younger
always said that
it-
Star Wars was for
Yeah,
kids.
the beauty
He
of
always
having
has.
Star
a-
Wars storytelling to me is that Star Wars tells stories in all directions, forwards and backwards. It never is like straightforward. Like
yeah, it's never
Marvel
just
is.
one thing,
And it's
that's
the
that's
same
part of
thing
its
with,
charm.
Exactly.
with ages. It tells stories for all ages too. So
having
there's people bitching about, oh, there's kid content for Star Wars, then don't fucking watch it. It's not that
Exactly.
hard.
If you don't want to
It's
watch the kids
Star
show,
Wars.
don't watch it.
the beauty
Exactly.
of
There's more than
wanna
Star
watch
Wars
it,
that you can
well,
watch.
guess you'll go fuck yourself because your kids will probably want to watch it.
The beauty of
Yeah.
having a multi-generational fandom like this is that there's going to be stuff that all audiences will enjoy. Like you said, the adults can watch Kenobi, the middle school kids can watch Rebels, and then your younger kids can watch Young Jedi Adventures, and if they're made well, everyone can enjoy everything no matter
Well, that's
what.
what they even
Exactly.
said when they were announcing the show is
Yeah.
it upsets me that they had to make this point because they know how Star Wars fans are. But I'm simultaneously glad that they did. They
Yeah.
said, yes, it's
Yeah.
a kid show. You adults are gonna like it. We don't
Yeah.
want to make a show that you wanna not watch with your kids, that you want to sit down and watch and enjoy with them. So there is going to be those more adulty aspects.
I'm sure we're gonna
and
get
even
some.
if there wasn't,
Who cares?
even if there wasn't, who
Exactly.
cares? Most Star Wars we've gotten for the last couple of years has been very adulty. Rise of
Very much
Skywalker,
so.
Palpatine was horrifying. I
Yeah.
mean, my youngest brother, he was, how old was he? He was 6 years old when that movie came out. He did not like it. He was horrified. I don't think he's watched it since because
shit.
Palpatine scared the shit out of him.
Oh, yes, he's not gonna like this most recent episode of Kenobi then, especially the last
I mean, yeah.
15
Unfortunately,
minutes.
yeah, but that's the thing. Mando, very, very violent. The first episode, you have, I
Yeah.
believe, a Quarren getting chopped in half by a door. Season 2, also very violent. Book of Boba Fett, pretty freaking violent. Bad Batch, you had regular, random civilian people getting murdered by Crosshair. Not
yeah.
very kid-friendly.
And those were all
Kenobi.
made, like, obviously with all audiences involved, but like with Bad Batch, they were like, this was made for people that grew up with the Clone Wars. Mandalorian was clearly the big draw for Disney Plus of bringing these families. The thing is, see, no one does this with Marvel or DC when they have their animated shows or they have the younger leaning shows. No one goes, oh, this ruins it. Can't believe they're doing this kiddie shit. No one does it. Disney does it with Marvel and their other properties all the time, and no one bats an eye. But with Star Wars, it's a different story. No one is forcing
It's
you at
because Star Wars
gunpoint.
fans feel
With DC,
entitled to
yeah.
every single piece of content.
No one is
Every
like,
Star
That's
Wars
the
fan
problem
thinks
right
that
there.
everything that comes out needs to be made exactly how they want it to be made and exactly the kind of story that they want to watch.
Yeah.
And if it even deviates a little bit from what they expected, they throw a piss fit.
no one is
Yeah.
holding you at
Guess
gunpoint
what?
to watch
There's this little
the.
thing called fan fiction. Y'all should, write it. Should also check out
Don
Go
SWF.
check out the Star Wars
SWF.
editor fictional universe. We're about to drop Don's story, Scars of War. It's
It's kind
awesome.
of fire.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that at the end of the
Yeah.
of the episode.
No one is holding
Very
you at
exciting.
gunpoint to watch the Disney Junior Star Wars show. When you
Exactly.
realize that not everything that Lucasfilm or Disney is going to put out that isn't made to the 40-year-old man that watched the original trilogy when it first came out. Okay?
Right, like, are you going to throw a piss fit because Doc McStuffins exists now? Like, oh, Doc McStuffins isn't made for me. No shit, it's called Doc McStuffins.
Like,
Don't
obviously, for a franchise that's 45 fucking years old, they're obviously going to make things for different people. And I'm
Exactly.
excited about it. Because
And that's
even
the
if I
thing.
don't like this show, or I watch a couple episodes and go, it's not for me, and I tune out, I know that there's going to be younger kids that love this stuff. And that'll be
and
their
that's
Star
what's
Wars.
important.
And that is the beauty of stuff like this, is the more different generations and different entry points for this franchise, the better. Because that's the beauty of this, is everyone loves their different stuff. And everyone has stuff that they love and was the thing that made them fall in love with the franchise. So why is that a bad thing? Okay? Not
Exactly,
everyone
because
needed to...
kids need that entry point. And again, the sequels should have been an entry point for newer generations. They did that somewhat, but a lot of it was heavily targeted towards embracing nostalgia for older audiences.
Yes, and that
Similar
meant
with-
towards a more of an adult tone in a lot of senses.
Right. Mando's very, very similar in that sense. Kenobi obviously is made for kids like
prequels.
us, the Clone Wars and
With the
prequels.
yes,
Kids.
and who want to see that kind of like carried into like a more like mature series that deals with
Right.
like heavy themes. But like that's the thing. It's like
Exactly, because
Star
we're all
Wars is
20-something
good
years
thing.
old now.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Star Wars has all these different shows that appeals to different ages because, like, if they just made, it kind of reminds me of the big comics crash and boom of the 1990s because, like, that happened because comic book companies started appealing to one specific stripe of fanboy, the type that like read all the comics and fixated on all the continuity connections, and they only liked big like dark adult stories like Dark Knight
Which
Returns.
has had
Yes.
very, very poor consequences on comic book culture for the last 30 years.
And the industry
And
tore
more
itself
than
apart trying to appeal to that. And they went really insular and alienated other audiences, like prospective new readers. And they're still feeling the ramifications of that in a lot of ways in the comics industry. And it's even bleeding through into like a lot of the films. So I think it's a great thing that Star Wars is like embracing having different kinds of content for different audiences, because like that's the thing, like you said, if you don't like this High Republic show that's going to be made more for kids, then that's fine, don't watch it. There's plenty of content that will appeal more to your sensibilities, and that's how it should be.
Which we really, really also need to mention how good of a job the High Republic in general does with this. How they have their
Absolutely.
adult line of novels, they have
Yeah.
their young adult novels for the teenagers, they have their children's books, they have sticker and picture books. We're now getting a kids show. The Acolyte is also High Republic. Obviously, seems like it's going to be much more adult driven, but the High Republic in general has done a absolutely perfect job of engaging with every single kind of viewer
Demographic
or
reviewer,
fan. Right.
Exactly.
Like there's something for everybody. It does not matter what you are. There is something for you in the High Republic, and I feel like I'm just plugging the High Republic right now.
Yeah.
But that's why the High Republic is the best Star Wars. I mean, honestly, there's something for everybody.
That's what
Doesn't matter
Star
who you
Wars should be. And again, it's like the people that think, oh, you're not a real fan unless you saw A New Hope opening night in 1977. Like, no one is forcing you to watch the show. No one is forcing you to read Race to Crash Point Tower or something like that. Just let kids have their
Which
fun.
is amazing.
Yeah. But, I mean, I hope the show will be really fun. And I think they
Same.
said that this is also a 2023 release. So
Yep.
that'll be exciting. But as we move to Friday, we got what I'm sure was Connor's favorite announcement of the weekend, which was
Okay, so
Jedi
here's
Survivor.
the thing with that. Like, I could talk about that all day. That would not work. Check out the Nerd Academy. Okay, so basically, my other podcast that I run, that I help run, the Nerd Academy podcast, me and my co-host Jared live streamed all 4 days of celebration. And we
You
did
lying. You were
recap
only there for
shows.
3.
And I was only there for 3. I know, Jake. I know. I was at 1. But we still live streamed all 4 days. And just go for the Star Wars Celebration 2022 Day 2 stream, just go to the timestamp 3:07:28. Just watch my reaction, because I did not think we would even get a Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer. And we did.
We definitely did.
Also, shout out to Vespi and the Star Wars editor Discord, who was like, guys, there's a BD1 statue on stage right now, and I can see that they're talking about trailer on the prompt reader, and then 15 seconds later, Anthony Carboni starts talking about Fallen Order and talking to the little BD statue.
I mean, what do you think we're gonna get for this game, Connor? Do you think we're gonna get Marin as a playable character, hopefully, or
Hopefully, I hope
If
we
she's
get
not
Steer.
dead,
They're not dead. I mean, Stigas Musin said, like,
Jedi
It seems about-
Survivor.
I know, but
Singular, Connor.
if the
title
game
is-
opens and they
let me-
kill
let me-
Seer, Grease, and
let me-
Marin, I'm turning the
let
game
me-
off.
let me finish my freaking thought. He said that the game is really
I couldn't
about Stigas Musin, the game director of Fallen Order and now Survivor. He said in a press release for StarWars.com that, like, pretty obviously the game is about survival for Cal and the crew. So they probably they ain't dead. I don't know what's
I
gonna
don't know,
happen.
Connor. I can hear the nervousness in your voice as you
They're
speak.
not dead.
I mean, maybe the
Oh,
mantis.
now
gets
he's
blown
getting
up, but,
angry.
like, other than that, other than that, there's
Did
like
I
it's
stutter
possible.
there?
I
don't
mean,
know
But
what's
yes,
gonna
Connor,
happen,
actually,
man.
I really like that point, because as much as I do love the Mantis, Star Wars needs to do more of blowing up fan favorite ships.
Razor Crest.
My unpopular opinion, Razor Crest, that was a good one.
That was a good
My
one, 'cause
unpopular
it
opinion is
was
that the
modified-
Millennium Falcon should have been destroyed in Episode
Oh,
7.
I firmly disagree
I,
on that.
I was expecting it to get blown up in Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I was worried they would. And I'm glad.
JJ would never do that.
Look, if Trevorrow
I mean,
was directing it, maybe, but the movie probably would have been worse. So I don't know.
If you look at the script, that is, I believe that's what happens to the Falcon. It does get wrecked, and then Rey only puts it back together at the end. So I think yes, he would have absolutely.
She should.
Look,
Queen.
The only thing that's like Falcon. If they killed Chewie, I would have been upset, and then they teased us. I thought
that would have been bad.
almost happened.
Ooh.
Almost happened.
I'm so happy they did it.
Had a massive heart attack
There
in the
needed
theater.
to be more time, but like I'm not getting into that.
We're not
I still
getting
need
into
to finish the
we don't need to get into
novelization.
Frost.
It's pretty solid so far.
I'm assuming because they said 5
Survivor-
years after Fallen
They said
Order.
5 years.
So
And,
that
like,
means
it-
Kenobi.
It puts the same, Kenobi. It puts it
like,
the same.
again, I don't
Kenobi.
see it happening. I
Yeah,
do
but-
not see Cameron Monaghan showing up in Kenobi.
No,
But
I'm thinking that
God.
maybe
figuring into the game. I think that would make sense. Like
some of the
there's an element.
Inquisitors, I think, might be in
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor. Like, I
Bro,
think
I
the fourth
swear to
sister
God,
would be
if we
cool
get-
in here. The fifth
Yeah.
Yeah,
brother.
you'll be really cool. Reva.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about what a clown I was for being like, look, guys, it's Grand Inquisitor for the third time, looking completely different, and it wasn't him.
Oh, I thought it was him too.
Absolute
Oh, I
clown
An
moment.
Imperial Senator.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
We
okay.
do see him on Coruscant though, which is
Yeah.
Yes.
crazy because imagine Cal on Coruscant going to
What?
level 1313.
Yeah. Like what's possibly going to draw him there? That's what's
And-
interesting.
and
You know who
Exactly.
also worked on
Half his
1313?
lightsaber.
That worked on Fallen Order. That
Matt
most likely,
Miknovich.
I think, will work on Survivor. Matt Miknovich, yeah, he worked on 1313 before it got
Of
scrapped.
course, yes.
So I would
They
not
didn't
be
confirm
shocked.
he's writing it. I think I thought I heard that he was.
I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point
He
until
is
we
involved in
probably
Bad
get
Batch as well.
confirmation. So
Who
I
do-
don't know.
Who do you think is that in the tube?
Oh, I have a
don't know.
theory.
I have no
I have a
clue.
theory.
See, I was
People are
throwing
saying,
up.
"Oh, it's a clone of Cal." I'm like,
Ew.
No,
no.
it's not a clone. So this is where the title becomes very interesting because obviously there's the direct interpretation of like, oh, it's about Cal and Seer and Merrin all learning to like survive, like their past like traumas and stuff like moving forward, but also the person in the tube. I think it's kind of like a long shot, I guess, but like the person in the tube could be from another era entirely. They could be in like cryogenic suspension. Like, so they could even be like a person from the High Republic era or the Old Republic era.
Holy shit.
Or even before that, because like think about the title, Jedi Survivor. So it's a person who survived from another era entirely, and they arrive in this dark world of like the Empire. And it could be it could be a Jedi. It could also be a Sith. It could also be an ancient Sith Lord that the Jedi of that time locked away in cryogenic suspension because they couldn't kill him or whatever. And that's who Cal is fighting in the trailer. I mean, the other theory I have about who Cal is fighting in the trailer is that it's Starkiller, and they're gonna bring Starkiller in finally.
I feel like that would have been a celebration reveal, though. That's the thing.
I mean, Sam Witwer
I don't know
was
about
there.
that.
So yeah, but Sam Witwer was there, so yeah, it would have made sense as a reveal there. But maybe they're keeping it close to their
Close to
chest.
the
'Cause they
chest.
want.
Can we talk
Yeah, I
about
want-
though how whoever that dark side force wielder is only had one arm?
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't notice that the first time. They definitely have one arm, so it might not be Starkiller, but he could just be an Inquisitor and he's lost an arm because
Or
like
maybe it's just another
anyone who-
random Darksider like like how Malicos was.
yeah, that's possible. I
That,
guess.
or I would really like to see. I've said this ever since the first Fallen Order came out. I actually did do an article on this back in 2019 for Star Wars Editor IG site. I would love to see the Jedi series explore the unknown regions a bit, especially with you know how the first game was very, very heavily focused on the Zepho and how they were as a species.
Yeah,
I
mean that's
think it would
possible.
be-
I think they're going to save the unknown regions exploration for the Ahsoka show because, like, based on the footage we get from that, it looks like there's like ancient stuff and exploration there. So I imagine that's
agree.
going into Coruscant and like the mid rim and like the inner core. I can't remember that terminology, but that's probably why we're moving more towards areas like Coruscant and potentially even drawing on like 1313, like you said, because that's the wheelhouse that game's going to play in, and then it leaves the Ahsoka show free to kind of like explore the unknown regions and map areas out for like future properties to explore.
Star Wars as a whole really should embrace the unknown regions a bit more. It's
absolutely.
not been touched on
very untapped
at all, almost in canon. I mean, they talked about it a little bit with the Force Awakens press release back when they used to say that Snoke was an ancient Force user who originated from the unknown regions. Now, obviously, Rise of Skywalker seemingly retconned that. However, I have many an idea as to how they can justify that and make him.
Well, Exegol is
ancient...
in the unknown regions, so that's like that's what,
as is Octo.
Yes, both planets are.
But they need to expand on it a little bit more than just saying, "Oh, this Force planet is in the unknown regions." Show us what it's like. Show us what it's like to traverse through the unknown regions. Show us what kind of species, other than the Grisics, if that's how you pronounce them. Honestly, I have no idea because I've only ever read them, and Timothy Zahn likes to write weird words. And the Chiss, like, show us more of the people who come from the unknown regions. Like, there's just untapped potential there, and frankly, I really hope that's where we go post episode 9. And I know that's a bit of a tangent, so we can get back to Jedi Survivor. But
bro, I'm just happy that Jedi Survivor is 5 years after. Y'all here, not those listening, know why. For those listening, you'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you.
I'm very happy.
Was that was that the thing that made you most happy, or was it the reveal that we're gonna get to fight Magna Guards because of the toy reveal?
Magna Guards!
Oh my god. Okay. We're getting on this. Bro. Alright. So
can we just talk about, before you get started, how Connor and I literally were in a voice chat for like an hour and a half, I think it was Friday night, screaming about Magna Guards.
Oh my god. Okay, so for those that are unaware, Hasbro did a panel and they like just casually fucking revealed, they're like, oh yeah, here are 3 enemy types that you're gonna get to fight in Fallen Order. And it was like Riot Scout Troopers, which are basically Scout Troopers with shields now.
They're gonna be a bitch to fight.
New model of KX series droids.
Don't they have like a flamethrower or something now? Was that what that was? They had like red tanks on their back.
I hated the flamethrowers in Fallen Order. They were a pain to fight.
Oh my god, they were so hard.
Yeah, if you give a flamethrower to the KX series droids, oh god, I'm gonna hate it.
Good luck.
But like, bro, Magna Guards, like the only post Revenge of the Sith content we've ever seen them in canon was the Showdown on the Smuggler's Moon arc in the 2015 comic run. In terms of on-screen content, nothing. This is gonna be incredible.
Yeah,
the combat's gonna be fantastic, and just
they also have a sick new paint job.
Like they look fantastic.
Very cool.
I really like. They're probably not going to be the first gameplay that we see of them for Survivor, but like I would be stoked if
maybe that
the
like
first
Senator...
gameplay. That's what I'm. That's when you said that to me, Don. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because like there is that thing in the Vader comic where the Kieran Gillen run of Vader comics where like a lot of the battle droids, like the destroyer droids and the droid commandos, are like loaned out to these corporations which use them as like cheap muscle instead of like like alien, like other life forms, because they're droids. So that's probably how they're going to figure into the game. Like that senator will have them as muscle or something, or maybe like a corporation Cal has to deal with on Coruscant.
Bro, just make him a common enemy. I just want to fight him I want to fight him so fucking much, dude. I want to so bad.
One thing I hope we get is, and I don't know how they'll do this because they said it's going to be new gen consoles only, is I hope there's a way that you can transfer your saber from Fallen Order into Survivor, just so it feels like it's the same thing. Although
I'm going to assume that's not the case because single-bladed saber.
Yeah, so
which
I mean, maybe
we're gonna get
another
one.
one.
So okay, here's something to point out though. We do see that this Powan senator has our saber. However, he has a single bladed saber.
Yeah,
We
it's
might
gonna be
start the
like-
game simply dual wielding, and for some reason we just decided we don't want to have the double blade anymore. We'll just dual wield from here on out.
or it
And so
gets
they end
taken
up
from
getting
Cal,
right. So
which I
they
think is the more
lose
plausible
one
option.
saber, and we go for, I would assume, the majority of the campaign only having the one saber before we get it back later. If we get it back, who knows?
And I would wager we will, because like, given the like significance of what it means to Cal, like,
Right.
Bro, we
even
better
with
get
Cole-
that saber back. I will be very pissed at Respawn if we don't get that saber back by the end of the story.
Yeah, it's a
Now-
cool design with the
Emitter.
hilts, like with the emitter.
Yep.
I really like that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Fallen Order had great saber customization, but the costume less so. I really hope in Survivor that there's a lot more that we can do
It
with
looks
Cal's
like
I
outfit.
mean, here's
looks
the
like he has
thing.
another
Like,
costume.
Stegas Musin basically said that, like, all the stuff that they just couldn't put into Fallen Order, they're just gonna put into Survivor.
Right.
And it's like, that
Very well.
really excites me because, like,
yeah.
what's that gonna look like?
Which
You
means they
know?
have a lot of ideas like that they've already been developing, which are going to
Like,
emerge.
what's that
into
gonna
this
look like
game.
in terms of
Yeah.
combat, in terms of customization, in terms of just
possibilities.
traversal? Like, I'm just, I cannot wait. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Also,
Same.
I'm sorry for all of you previous gen console users. It is unfortunate. However, we are 3 years into the current run. It's about damn time we got current gen designated games.
Yeah.
The use of UE5 in this game excites me almost more than anything else.
Is it UE5?
This game is going. It is entirely UE5, and I believe
I
one
heard
of the
it's
interviews
not.
that someone did, it is.
Okay.
It is. And one of the interviews that I read, I don't remember, was it an interview or a tweet of someone reading off I don't remember. They even talked about like how it was implemented, and I'm just this game is gonna look incredible.
Even the
yeah,
trailer
I presume-
alone, like Cal looked
Right, and
so
considering
much
how
better.
good Fallen Order looked, and then again with it being the current gen, which these new consoles are absolute tanks. I mean, the things they can do is incredible. UE5
Yeah, sure.
is genuinely astonishing. If you even give a single rat's ass about game development or even like CGI in filmmaking, please go watch like a UE5 Unreal Engine 5 demo of how they use like real-time lighting reflections and just how it compares to like UE4 and previous gen implementations. It is genuinely incredible. They are literally able to simulate real life better than real life simulates real life. It is insane. This
Yeah,
game
it's
is
actually
just
nuts.
going to look
Wow.
utterly gorgeous. I cannot talk enough about how incredible that implementation is going to be.
Did they
Yeah.
say an estimated release date, or did they just say
They said,
2023?
okay, so they said
Quarter one.
2023,
I
but
think later,
there
like
was a
second quarter,
report from
like third
EA
quarter.
that it would be like there. Okay, so like there was a report from EA where it was like, oh, this is our game timeline, and like I think it was quarter one. They had like 3 games, and then quote major IP, which like it's Jedi Survivor now, and that
Yeah.
was all in quarter one. And quarter one, I think, is like February to like or like January to like March or April.
Yeah, I
or
think it's
whatever.
I think it's
Yeah,
January
probably
to
gonna,
March.
Probably a lot further along, isn't it? They've probably saved any gameplay reveals for the E3.
Well, they
exhibition.
did say at Celebration they have been working on this game since before Fallen Order release.
Wow.
So this
Well, yeah,
game
so
is
this-
significantly
it's a lot
farther into
further.
its development
Yeah.
than we think. I would guess they're probably going to do March, not January, because they're not going to do February. They're not going to do Mandalorian month. I know
No,
that
it'll get
video games
overshadowed.
and television, right? They don't have direct competition, but it will get overshadowed. And
It was
people
like
will
how
forget.
Mando and Fallen Order came out like around the same time.
Yeah,
literally-
Right,
Man-
which was
Mando
also right
literally-
before Rise of Skywalker.
yeah, they
Yeah.
spaced them apart pretty neatly, I think. For
Yeah,
sure.
Right,
Fallen
and
Order
so
literally
we
came
should-
out 3 days after the first Mando episode.
So
Wow,
I
I
mean,
didn't even realize they were that close.
Yep.
looks like I'm gonna
I'll
have to
never
get one
forget
of them fancy new consoles before this game comes out? Because I'm definitely going
I
to
will
need to play it.
say, as a longtime PlayStation user, the Xbox Series X was the greatest purchase of my life. It is incredible. You can also get them for retail pretty easily now.
Oh, thank
That
God.
console is
They're
a beast,
far
sure.
less scalped. They have regular drops, like I'm talking multiple drops a week at GameStop, Walmart, and I believe Targets have been having regular drops lately. PlayStations, I don't think they have been as commonly dropped, but they are still being dropped. And again, retail price. Anybody listening, don't buy the scalped shit. We're 3 years into this. Anybody who has scalped consoles is going to sit with 100 consoles in their garage for all time because there's more stuff coming. I mean, the PS5 Pro and the Xbox Series X 2, whatever the hell they're going to end up calling it, are likely releasing either late next year or early 2024. These consoles are going to be easy to get by the time Survivor comes out. So don't stress.
For sure. But now I think we can move into, because I feel like Survivor was the only thing that got revealed on Friday except for the Lego special, which
We did get Tales
Yeah.
of the Jedi too.
I thought that was Saturday. I think
That was Saturday.
because Saturday was
Tales of the Jedi was
Ahsoka.
Saturday.
It was
I'm mixing my
Ahsoka
days
Visions
up.
and
Speaking
Tales
of Tales
Jedi.
of the Jedi,
Yeah,
that's coming out.
Yeah, that
2020
got
fall
confirmed.
2022. It's pretty much the same time period as Bad Batch season 2. 6 episodes, anthology animated shorts. It's going to be a lot of, I can't remember how the storytelling was described, but it's like very minimal dialogue. Oh yeah, very minimal dialogue.
That's what they said about the one episode that they showed. That was not the series as a whole. That was only the Ahsoka's mom episode.
I
Yeah, 'cause there
thought
was a
that
lot
was
of
the whole
dialogue in that
series.
leaked trailer. There was plenty
I
of
could have
dialogue.
sworn that was the whole.
Mhm.
That was how they described the whole.
I think they
series.
said
Nope.
3 Ahsoka, 3 Dooku.
Yeah.
Uh, The
Which
trailer
is
to
a
me, I thought it looked like animation-wise looked great. I'm excited to see
Animation
Qui-Gon.
looked phenomenal.
I'm excited to see young Dooku. Liam Neeson, as we joked about in the Kenobi recap, is back as Qui-Gon. But remember, he doesn't do TV; he only does movies. So
Yeah, with
I'll-
the amount of times we've heard Qui-Gon muttered in
I'll
Kenobi.
I'll see you in Kenobi in about 2 weeks, Liam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
At
Tim.
the most.
at the really. Speaking
It's
of,
cool that
every time
got
we get
Qui-Gon as
Master
well.
Qui-Gon, I die a little. It hurts.
Yeah.
Dude, every time it's like it's gonna happen in like the.
I've been
50th
waiting for that
episode.
blue light to shine on Obi-Wan's face since the first 5 minutes of episode 1.
Dude, it's probably
Aw.
gonna happen in like the last episode if I had to guess. I just feel like this
Oh,
is just
sure.
gonna be a season-long development
Definitely.
for him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so nice. It's gonna be.
But back to
packed,
like
it's gonna be
Tales of the
wonderful.
Yeah, we
back
got
to Tales of the Jedi. I'm really excited for like it's I get that that there may be some disappointment that it's 3 episodes focusing on 6 episodes focusing just on 2 characters. I mean, they're already folding in like characters like Rex, Obi-Wan, Yoda,
Mace.
Mace and Qui-Gon. Like they're all folding it into the story.
We might get Rail Averos, which would be awesome.
oh my god,
That would be pretty awesome.
As
But I
long
really
as we
like-
don't get any Master and Apprentice retcons, Filoni,
Yes, that would be
I don't
nice.
trust you. You
Or
need to earn my
Dooku Jedi
trust back.
Lost ones.
It looks like one of the episodes for Ahsoka is going to adapt a portion of the Ahsoka novel by E.K. Johnson,
Yes.
which I've read. It was very good. The bit that they seem to be
I
hinting
still
at in the
haven't
trailer,
finished it.
pretty
I won't
phenomenal.
talk about my opinions on the Ahsoka novel because I don't have very many good ones. But I'm very excited to see that duel adapted into
Yeah.
animation.
yeah.
Definitely.
Also, speaking of Dooku Jedi Lost and my lack of trust with Filoni, it sounds like he did good because according to Star Wars Dude, who if you're a Star Wars fan and you have an online presence, I almost guarantee you know who Star Wars Dude is. He's a massive Instagram personality. He was at the panel and mentioned that they talked, or I don't remember if they talked about it or if they showed one of the Dooku episodes does connect to the funeral of his mother, which was part of the audio drama by Kevin Scott.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I need
so
to
that
listen to the
is
Dooku Jedi
really
Lost.
interesting that it sounds like Filoni may actually be taking into account literary material, which would be a major plus.
Well,
I
the
imagine
way
so.
that from everything I read about the panel, it sounded like it was a really like emotional one. They said there was a lot of crying from the audience. I cannot wait to see Janina Gavankar as Ahsoka's mother. I think that's perfect
She's
casting,
awesome.
and
Bro,
anything to get her
we
more
get-
in Star
I'm
Wars.
so happy we get Janina again. And like, dude, Ahsoka's mom, I gotta say it, bro.
Oh,
A MILF. 100%.
I mean, yes.
Here's the thing, like, so if they're doing
Ah.
this, if they're doing, like, if they're showing more of Ahsoka's backstory, I mean, I know it's partly because, you know, Dave Filoni, you know, loves fleshing out Ahsoka more and more. Like, it's obviously very personal to him to explore, like, her life before she came to the Jedi Temple, which probably means we'll get at least a Plo Koon cameo in the episode about her childhood. But if they're doing stuff like this, I almost wonder how much it's going to show up in the Ahsoka show.
There's
Because-
no way it's not gonna connect in some way.
Given Dave Filoni's involvement, I think that's
Yeah,
almost a certain.
Dave's
which will be-
involved in both. There's going to be some
Yeah,
connections. But
I
again,
will say at this point, it feels like we're gonna eventually get like a story about Ahsoka waking up and eating breakfast with the amount of Ahsoka stories we're getting. That's not necessarily me complaining.
But also, I hope that Tales of the Jedi, like Tales of the Jedi, to me,
Give us multiple
Hopefully-
seasons.
Yeah.
Go to different eras.
it's-
Show us
Go to-
different
it is
characters.
perfect for the
make it
anthology
the
format.
TV version of
Exactly.
hopefully what Star Wars Jedi will do. Where like we hope Star Wars Jedi will, after it tells the story of Cal Kestis and his company, it moves to different eras and it really embraces that sort of anthology type.
Well, back in
storytelling.
2021, I believe it was the CEO of EA. I don't know the dude's name off the top of my head, nor do I care to remember. Mentioned that the Jedi series was just that. It was a series. So,
Oh,
yes, this next game is about Cal still. I would be shocked if the next one is about him again. That does not mean I think that we're never going to get another Cal game again. I personally think we'll probably get 3 with Cal, but I feel like we'll get more without Cal in other eras, especially because I can't remember the guy's name. It's not Michael Siglain. It's the other more management side of things involved in the High Republic. I forget his name. He mentioned during the High Republic panel they had video games, plural, in development for the High Republic. Now,
I
obviously,
swear
there's
to God.
Star Wars Eclipse.
What?
Fuck
What is
that.
that? What is
I don't
that?
want that game. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Fuck
Oh.
Quantic Dream, Blackout Star Wars Eclipse. That
But like, I
Fuck
swear to
that.
God, if
No.
we get a Star Wars Jedi High Republic game, I'ma lose it.
Yeah.
when he said games plural and emphasized that, I would be shocked if we are not getting a Respawn developed High Republic game.
Yeah.
that would be
I will be
I'd love
very, very-
What
that would be
I
very cool.
you said, multiple seasons. I think that's what we're getting. Like right now, we're getting this one, and we're getting Clone Wars stuff, which obviously more Clone Wars connections are cool. Whether or not you think it's overexposed or not, that's a different conversation. Animation-wise, it looks beautiful. I will always love any opportunity we get to get the Clone Wars cast back in Star Wars. But I
Also,
hope
can we talk about the new clone models?
Oh.
They completely revamped the Phase 1 clones. Also, they revamped the Kenobi model. which
Mullet
now
Kenobi
confirms
in Clone
that was
Wars
the one
animation.
that,
Mullet Kenobi, but they finally have given what I assume is his definitive Clone Wars look. Because for me personally, I'm probably more interested in this kind of stuff than most. But live action translations from animated like outfits and stuff is something I personally am very, very interested in. Nobody has ever been able to figure out what the fuck Obi-Wan is wearing in the early seasons of the Clone Wars. Is it clone armor? Is it modified clone armor? Is it just something that looks like clone armor? Genuinely, nobody knows, because there's very, very slight differences from his armor and the clone armor. And then when the clones got the new models, Obi-Wan armor stayed exactly the same. So nobody knows. But thanks to this trailer, we can see that Obi-Wan is wearing regular clone armor for at least like his knees, shins, feet, forearms, handguards, elbows, shoulders, and biceps at least. And personally, that feels like a massive weight that has been lifted off my shoulders that has been there since I was like 12 years old, because visual consistency is a thing. And oh my god,
The one thing I'm excited about
that.
is one of the Ahsoka clips was like her training with Anakin, and the tube top is gone. The torture's over.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
gone.
thank you.
Uh,
No more tube top and short-haired Anakin in the Clone Wars armor. That is just
yeah.
so good.
But
It
I
almost makes you wonder if like they've revamped the designs because of like stuff that could be happening in the live action shows.
maybe.
Possibly.
I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
That's
I
another
think
point.
I'm hoping that this becomes more of a multi type of season anthology type of show, like we said, where we
think
have
For
this.
6 episodes, I'd be shocked if it isn't.
Yeah.
6 episode season for an animated project
That's
is
crazy.
minuscule. So
Yeah.
I feel like we're probably going to get about a season of this a year.
in a different era.
In different
And
eras.
especially because they
That-
said these are only going to be about 15 minutes or so per short.
Yeah, they're short.
But now
Okay.
we'll have 2 anthology shows, because we have this one, which will be more canon stuff, and then we've got Visions Volume 2, which I'm very much looking forward to. This time they said it's going to be all types of animation studios around the world, so it's not just anime for this one. I'm not sure how I
I
feel.
was genuinely surprised by that.
But
like
it is-
I
genuinely.
am not super big on that, to be honest with you, because I feel like a lot of the appeal of Visions was
the anime
the
stuff.
fact that
Yeah.
it was made by
Japanese
creators who make Japanese creators. They make the kind of stuff that inspired George Lucas, right? They make the modern versions of that, and obviously George Lucas was not only inspired by Japanese filmmaking and storytelling, he was inspired by a lot of different cultures. And so expanding to those other cultures, like I believe we have, where else was it? They did like Chile. Was India one of the other ones?
I think
that they're
Ireland
doing-
was one of them.
Ireland, see that's one of the ones I'm not big on, because George Lucas was not inspired by Irish storytelling. He was not inspired by Californian storytelling. So those studios confuse me quite a bit. And I am very glad that we are getting other cultures other than Japanese storytelling, because again, that's the kind of stuff that inspired George Lucas. But I feel like it almost is a disservice to them to cram it in alongside all these other studios. I feel like for Vision Season 2 should have been a continuation of these Japanese studios, and then we could have gotten other spin-offs of Visions for these other cultures. And
Well-
just, again, I don't feel the need to get more Californian anime. What is it going to be? Another Clone Wars episode in Visions Season 2? That's just something that worries me a little bit.
Well, I hope we at least get some continuations of some of the stories in Season 1. And then
Well, we
some
did get
other
the
stuff.
comic announcement.
That's true.
We
So
did get the comic announcement.
I'm looking forward to it still. I loved Visions. I think this is also 2023. I think hopefully it'll be some good and unique stuff. And I honestly didn't think we were going to get a season 2 for a while, so I'm very excited that they're bringing it back. And it'll be
Definitely.
another thing to look forward to now that we have, like we said, 2 anthology shows. One being the more canon one, like Tales of the Jedi, and then the other one being the, off the wall, super creative,
Experimental.
not restrained to canon stuff like Visions. It'll be cool. But we talked about Ahsoka and Tales of the Jedi. We can bounce back to the actual Ahsoka panel here. We do know Sabine got officially announced. Her actress was confirmed. They leaked it a couple months ago, I mean. But they showed the live-action recreation of the final shot of Rebels, which means we've got Hera in live action. Didn't announce who she's being played by yet. I'm assuming... Don called it last week. I'm assuming it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead is going to
I'm
be
going to
Hera.
stick with that. I'm going to stick with Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera. I think that's almost certainly what they're doing.
Wasn't she also casting Kenobi?
No, she was
I think
casting
that was wishful
Ahsoka.
Thinking. Yeah,
She's
because-
married to
I
Ewan
thought I
McGregor.
heard that she would. I also heard that she would be in Kenobi.
That'd be dope.
That would be dope, but I just heard Ahsoka. We didn't get any
Aha.
like Thrawn reveal or anything. I think they're gonna save that to closer to the show coming out. But
got a better reveal than Thrawn.
yeah.
At
Chopper.
I actually wasn't talking about Chopper, but I was really happy to see Chopper for sure.
Can we talk about how they changed um the chopper prop from the one used in Rogue One? As cool as it is to see him in Rogue One, the Rogue One chopper that they used was essentially a 1-for-1 of
Yeah.
how he looks in Rebels. This one is way more live actionified. I mean, he looks.
The head still bobbles around when he talks, which I think is a great
Yup,
touch.
he still has the magic of Chopper, but again, he looks much more like a living thing that has existed in this universe for a time, and I really love that. I
Yeah.
really really love
I
that.
love that Ahsoka's Leku are a bit longer in this show, so it looks more like
That is
Rebels
a big
Ahsoka.
plus.
And then what I'm assuming is Don's big thing. Just take it away, because I think I figured it out.
Huyang.
Yeah.
Huyang is back. Okay,
Yes.
so for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a big fan of like the character Huyang from the Clone Wars. Like he's my profile picture on Discord and Twitter. You know, like a big. I mean, there's two main reasons that I like the character. One is that he's just it's a really cool idea. Like he's a droid, an ancient droid that helps Jedi younglings build their lightsabers, which is just so interesting and like so weirdly contradictory, but very kind of like George Lucas-esque, given his like passion for like droid characters, and also the fact that he's in the Clone Wars. He's voiced by David Tennant, who I've been a huge fan of for years. Like he's obviously like he's most known for Doctor Who, which is like an amazing played an amazing version of the Doctor. Like he's my personal favorite. Like I was so hyped to see him be in the Clone Wars, and he like absolutely nailed that character. So like
I hope he
I've
comes
been
back
wanting that-
for Ahsoka.
Yes, because I know he's not. He's currently filming for the new series of specials for Doctor Who, because it's the 60th anniversary next year, which he'll be filming for. So I don't think he's gonna like film like in the costume like Anthony Daniels does with C-3PO. But I hope he does the voice for like in post. I mean, he could be filming both at the same time, and we just don't know. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Huyang back. Like I've been wanting that character to kind of resurface like for a while now, and I kind of felt like I was the only one who liked that character, like to that kind of degree. But like Dave Filoni seemed to feel the same way, which I'm really chuffed about. I think I know why he's in it as well, because like there's another shot in the trailer where you can see a small hand, a child's hand, reaching for something with the Force, which I assume is
that
Hera's
Jason's?
child, Jason
Has to
Syndulla.
be.
So I presume that Ahsoka, part of the show is going to be Ahsoka helping, mentoring Jason Syndulla, like presumably Huyang and her like go to some new planet to find a kyber crystal for him, which will be really interesting.
Well, thanks to the Mandalorian experience at Star Wars Celebration, we also know that Ahsoka's Jedi cruiser, the big like stingray looking ship that we see her fly both in the Clone Wars and the Rebels epilogue, will be in the Ahsoka show, because where they had like the Razor Crest model and the N1, like the miniature models that they used to shoot those scenes in the show, there was also the miniature model of that
Yeah, I
ship
saw
Oh,
that.
that's so
at
cool.
Celebration.
That's
Yep,
so
and
cool.
obviously we didn't
Trailer.
see that in Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett or anything. So that feels like the only reason that would be there is because it was used for Ahsoka, which obviously they're in the middle of shooting. They talked about how most of the crew left set just to come to Celebration for the day, and then we're heading back to set that night. So I feel like we're going to get to see
Yeah, like,
some
it
more of
makes
that like
sense. I think
Ahsoka Jedi stuff.
Yeah, the interior is definitely. I think it's definitely the interior of that shuttle that you see in the trailer. I mean, it's just a bunch of teaser images at this
There
point.
is the shot of the ghost too. I don't remember.
Yes.
It wasn't the shot in the trailer. I believe it was a still image, wasn't it? That we
Rosario
see Ahsoka in the
confirmed that
ghost.
it's the ghost. That the
Yeah.
ghost is in the
Yeah.
show, so that's definitely there. Overall, there's obviously we can only speculate, but yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with it, especially with like Thrawn and Ezra and all that stuff, and how they handle the Rebels characters.
Well, Dave had to just be the snotty man that he is, and when someone called out, "Where's Ezra?" he was like, "The funny thing about that is I know." It's like, all
Oh, I
right,
liked that. I
tell
liked
us,
that
David.
moment. That was great.
Tell
That
us,
was a great
where is
Filoni
Ezra?
moment.
Well, we'll find
Yeah.
out in Ahsoka probably. Again, I'm looking forward to it. I think I would have loved for the show to be an actual animated sequel to Rebels, but it is what it is. Sabine, I keep forgetting her name, but the
Natasha Bordizio.
she looks incredibly charming. She seems really excited to be in the role and seems very passionate about bringing Sabine to life and doing the character justice and continuing what Tia Sakara started. So I'm excited. I will. It's a ways off still, but we'll see it when it comes out, and hopefully it's on par with Rebels because Rebels is a joy, and I want to see
Top
more
tier
of the
Star
story.
Wars.
Exactly. But I think the last thing we'll talk about today is, because we're already got 2 hours in, is Bad Batch season 2, which I'm so glad they showed us this trailer. Celebration got a little bit more. They got a more direct reveal that Cody's in this season, but this trailer,
Oh, we also got Gunji.
yeah, it blew me away.
Gunji.
This
Gunji!
trailer, he's
Like,
back.
I will say
My
right now,
son.
I would have never expected this.
Listen, if they just kill him though, like I'm gonna lose my mind.
Now, are we just getting Gunji, or
Nah,
are we
they-
getting like Katuni and the whole crew? Or are they dead?
No,
Bruh,
they-
we better get the whole crew.
No confirmation on that, but
Well,
they're
remember,
totally-
the Gathering arc was
until the rest-
originally a backdoor pilot because they were going to get their own series, but then they decided to
that
not
is true.
pick it up.
I think at least one of them will have been killed, like by this point, because they're definitely.
Right.
I imagine there'll be at least one of them to mourn. It'll probably be Petro, because like that character was the very outspoken one, so his absence will be most likely will be felt the most out of all of them, I would say.
They all gonna be alive.
Yeah, we've got
I
to
don't
keep
know.
that
Bad
spark
Batch
of hope
season 1
alive.
is pretty dark.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Crosshair executing like literally committing war crimes and executing civilians. So like, yeah, it gets pretty dark. So I was
in a Twitter space during this that was like in the room, so I got to hear the scene they showed. I didn't get to actually watch the footage, but I heard it. It sounded cool. I love the Batch's new look. I love the color scheme. Omega looks a bit older. She's got a helmet now.
You got longer hair.
Give me the Black Series right now.
She has like protective gear
I'm
now.
looking at my Bad Batch Black Series figures on my shelf right next to me, and they're crying because they know that I'm probably gonna sell them when the new ones come out, so I can get the new ones.
Oof.
Yeah. But the trailer, there was so much. Gunji, good old Shivi boy is in this for real and not just a hologram.
Can we just talk about how Omega is in the Senate chambers?
I don't think that was the Senate. I think that was something else that Palpatine
If
was
you
in.
look through the hologram in the left corner, you can see the Senate pods.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of shocked we got.
It sounds like Ian McDermott's voice as well, like saying new lines. So I think
does.
It
brought
is.
Ian McDermott
I think it
back to
is
voice
because he
which makes sense.
he
'cause,
was
like, you know,
he voiced him in Rebels or season 4 at
yes,
least. So
yes. Well, yeah, season 4 because
He redubbed season 1,
oh,
or was it season 2 that he read the scene of Vader kneeling
yes,
to
talking
Palpatine.
to Palpatine about Ahsoka. That was
Ian did redub that, and I believe that's actually the version that's on Disney Plus now. Is the one with Ian.
I need to go back and like watch that then to see. But yeah, I'm excited to see Palpatine appear in it. I'm probably the most excited to see Cody because
I lost it.
Yeah.
When I did my Bad Batch season 2 article on SWE, I was like, I want to see Rex and Cody reunite, and I think there's a very strong chance we get it. Rex was back in this trailer.
That's going to be upsetting.
I cannot wait. It sounds like some of the stuff that we didn't get to see sounded like Cody was questioning the Empire and Crosshair was kind of talking to him about it. I wish we had at least one Crosshair scene in this trailer. We saw him with his helmet on, but no dialogue or anything.
You can find the leaked scene of Crosshair and Cody discussing. They're at the mural that's on Coruscant of all the clones that died during the first Battle of Geonosis. And their discussion is basically like, do you think what we're doing really helps? And Crosshair's essentially like, yes, and Cody's sort of like, eh. And so I feel like that's definitely going to be something that they play off of. And I know that it was teased very briefly. Obviously, shout out to my boy Hauser for planting the seeds of the Clone Rebellion. I feel like that's going to be the ultimate goal of this show.
I feel like it is, yes. I feel like because we need to kind of like, because Rex in Bad Batch season 1 is very he's very determined to like continue the fight, continue helping people. So you kind of need to like explain how he winds up in Rebels, kind of like, you know, tired, you know, having to be roped, tired of fighting, kind of just hanging out on a old ATTE with Wolf and
Gregor. He showed up last season.
Yes, so Wolf is probably going to show up at some point here. I mean, I've like.
Do we have canon confirmation if Wolf actually executed Order 66? Obviously, Plo Koon died
so that's
in air. So yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what. That's why I think it'll be interesting to see Cody, because you know he has executed Order 66, and this is an idea I think the show needs to explore. Like,
I'm wondering,
the clones after the chips are activated. Like, does it stay that way, or do the chips turn off afterwards, and then the clones have to grapple with that? Because that would be fascinating. Or is that going to be something that happens in the show? Because imagine if the Bad Batch deactivate all the chips and all the clones suddenly have to reckon with like the Jedi that they murdered, that they fought beside. That
could really speed up the process of getting stormtroopers enlisted rather than clones.
Because part of the
last season we had the
like,
great reveal that Crosshair took us out and still sided with the Empire.
I called that the moment from the first episode.
I'm interested in seeing where Cody goes. I know in Legends he was more of a Imperial through and through, as far as I'm aware. But I'm hoping we get some good stuff.
All of the clones were.
Yes, exactly.
Because there was no inhibitor chip. So
because the inhibitor
right, they knew about Order 66 right from the start in Legends.
So I am.
Which good acting on them. They gotta give it up. That brilliant performance.
So I am quite looking forward to this one. I was a big fan of season 1. I want to see more of the Batch. I'm hoping we get more of Crosshair's continued story. I'm still hoping for a redemption arc. Please don't kill the poor bastard though. And I'm Cody, awesome. Gunji, make him the lead. Just make him the lead. And Tarful was in the trailer too. I think that was him at least. So
it was some kind of Wookiee warrior. I couldn't tell if it was Tarful or not.
It has to be Tarful.
It
has to be Tarful. I will accept no other answer. Tarful is the Wookiee version of Saw Gerrera because he's appearing in everything.
If we get like the spiritual
Bad Batch and he's in Fallen Order.
If we get like the spiritual successor of the Bad Batch on Kashyyyk arc that was never made for Clone
the
Wars,
unfinished arc,
that would be really cool to see.
I would have bet my left cheek that was going to be the first arc of Bad Batch season 1, and when they didn't start with that, I was like, "Damn, I'm a fool."
Well, they started right off the bat with Order 66, so that seems to be the thing they're doing now. Is they start immediately with the pain.
But they just get right to the pain for everyone.
But yeah, this was.
I love pain.
We know.
We know, Jake.
We know.
We know.
But
you guys sound so disappointed in me.
But we have been going quite a bit. It has been an absolute just juggernaut of a weekend. I was not expecting this many reveals, but we got a lot. There's a lot coming soon. It finally seems like they're finally putting out a bunch of content, and they're going the Marvel route. Whether or not this ends up being a good thing or not, we'll find out. But there's a lot that I'm really looking forward to. Bad Batch, obviously, Andor, Skeleton Crew, all at the top of my list. I can't wait to see all this stuff. And it was really nice just getting that celebration experience again, even though none of us were there for it, unfortunately. But it just felt like a special weekend. And it got me really excited to be a fan and really get invested in all of this stuff. And then Obi-Wan airing during it was just the icing on the cake. So thank you for joining us for our celebration recap. A lot to talk about, but it was fun. Next time you see this main show, we will be returning to our usual Clone Wars discussion. We'll be talking about the R2 Gets Lost arc, which Don was not too hyped that we would be getting to that next.
I have mixed feelings about that.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that with the droid, the droid arc.
So let's hope that one ends up being good. But what you'll see us sooner will be our recap of Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3, which just aired today. We'll be recording that within the next couple days, depending on what everyone's schedule is going to be. But we'll have that out, and that'll be a blast. So, to wrap things up, we'll just do some quick promo and stuff. Jake, since this was your first episode back in quite a bit, where can the people find you? Do you have anything that you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I feel like I talked a lot today, but I guess I made up for missing the last couple episodes. You guys can always find me on Twitter, Jedi Jake __ at the end. I'm always screaming about Star Wars, which I feel like lately I've been a little bit more positive than usual, which is quite weird. But yeah, obviously I'll be screaming about plastic Star Wars things and live action translations and a whole bunch of stuff that nobody really cares about. But that's what we do here.
Exactly. Don.
You can find me on Twitter under @DonovanMead. I also tweet a lot about Star Wars and politics, and you can also find me on Instagram, Donovan_McComish. I also write articles and stories for sweditor.ig.com. In fact, as we mentioned earlier, I actually, as of this recording, I have a story that's going to release this Saturday. It's called Scars of War. It was an absolute it's an absolute joy to write. It was a very kind of much a journey of discovery writing it. It's about a clone survivor of Order 66 who meets a Jedi survivor of Order 66 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, and it's a story all about exploring trauma and PTSD. So if you like the Kenobi show, I hope you'll find something to dig here.
It's really fucking good. You guys are gonna like it.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I have to mention, Jake did a phenomenal job with the cover. It has these lovely samurai vibes. It refers to a moment in the story which I think is really, which I hope will be really powerful for everyone who reads it, and kind of communicates the tone that I am aiming for. So yeah, you did a great job, Jake, with the cover.
Thank you. You did a great job writing it.
Thanks, man.
As someone who does art, I will just say it is way easier to do art of things when it's actually written well. And literally, as soon as I finished reading your story, I had the idea instantly. It just sort of shows how well written the story was. It was so easy to do the art for it, and really excited for everyone to get to see the cover and read Don's story. It really is awesome.
Thanks, man.
I'll be checking that out this weekend. I'm very excited. Connor, how about you? I know you had a busy weekend with the Nerd Academy. If you want to just plug those again.
Yes. So you can find me on my socials. Mainly the big one is Twitter @DepaBanana, where I talk Star Wars and I be horny.
That's one way of putting it.
Always simping for someone.
It's legitimately true. You can also find me at my other podcast, the Nerd Academy podcast, specifically our Star Wars show, Knights in the Nerd Republic. We have a website, nerdacademypodcast.com. You can find us pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts. We talk about everything Star Wars, recaps, news, interviews, topic episodes, what have you. And then you can also find me writing articles and stories at sweditor.ig.com. I don't have any stories published yet, but I do have a few in development. Quite exciting, pretty cool. But go check out the stories already there. We have a bunch of dope-ass stories created by a wonderful team of creative people that I get to work with every single day.
Beautiful. And you can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, all the like at Starlight Andrew. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at For the Repub Pod and on Instagram at For the Republic Pod. Trying to get more active on both of those, get the follower counts up. That we've been gaining a lot of new followers and audience lately, which I cannot thank you enough for getting behind this dumb little podcast we do talking about Star Wars and going through the Clone Wars and stuff. And I'm very happy with how everything's going right now. So check us out coming soon for the more Obi-Wan coverage, and then you'll see us back here in a little bit for our next Clone Wars episode. So until then, see you guys later, and as always, for light and life, and may the Force be with you, always.